Hi everyone, how are you doing? Welcome to Facts and Two Cents. This is Petal. Hope you are doing well. Happy Tuesday. It's been a crazy last few days, but I think hopefully everyone is coming out of it and seeing things a little better and a little bit brighter. I think I am. I think I'm out of my little doldrums that I was in for a few days there, and feeling a little bit better about things, and hopefully things are moving forward. Welcome all of my friends I see joining the chat. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Again, happy Tuesday. So funny, all day I was thinking today was Monday. I'm like, I don't know where Monday went. And I'm like, oh, and so happy Tuesday. As you know, we are a channel that supports the Duke and Duchess of Sussex, Harry, Meghan, Archie, Baby Lily, Mama Doria, Pula Guy, the chickens, Mama Mia, all of us here at Sussex Squad. Welcome, 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 and happy Tuesday. And according to Church Nelly, terrific Tuesday to all. Good evening. I should call them pedalettes. I love it. And all squatties around the world and all our wonderful squatties in South Carolina. Welcome, 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 my friends. I'm just going to say hello to everyone in the chat for a minute. So, Anne, I said hello to Anne earlier today. Anne is locking in from Trinidad and Tobago, my peeps. And Lydia is here. Hello, Lydia. Awesome moderator who's here. And Lydia is reminding us of a Kaboom fundraiser. Thank you so much, Lydia. And also, you're here, if you haven't already, definitely subscribe to our channel. Click the notification bell so you know when we drop a video. Please like and share the video as we, grow the channel. Help us to grow the channel if you're able to do, join the channel as well. So welcome everybody. Black Queen is here. Hello, Black Queen and Joyce and Dansby. Oh, Dansbird 1. Oh, hello. Have I just missed you or are you new here? Hello, hello, hello. I am happy you're coming on as well. Let's see. Who else is here? Novi D is here. Hello, Novi. And Wendy Lohman is here. Kanitha. Hello, Kanitha. And Leslie and Emily and Connie hanging out with us from Switzerland. And Miss Viv and Leslie. And Kathy G is here. Hello, Kathy G. And Mara and Mama Jane and Gwendolyn. Oh, all our faves are here. I'm sure more will join because you have a lot of faves that are missing. So, Lottie is here and Cynthia and Reba and Glenn. Hello, hello, hello. I never saw you here before. Young DK out. Oh, wow. Very nice. Welcome, welcome. Oh, it's good night, darling. Oh, well, dear. Okay, wait a minute. The only people who would say good night when you're meaning hello, or in other words, hello, is someone from the Caribbean. And so it's how we say hello when it's in the evening and we say hello, we will say good night. So I'm assuming, young DK, you are from the Caribbean somewhere. I could be wrong, but that's a greeting that I recognize from my peeps in the Caribbean. Hello, Carolyn and Norma. Hello, guys. Mrs. S, hello to you. How are you doing? Happy you're here. So, and all of our other friends will say hello to as we go along. Hello, Marjorie. I see you there. And Janet Lavalle. Hello. I see you guys there. All our 2 cents crew are representing here. Hello. I see you, Dale. Hello. So welcome, guys. It's actually been a light couple of days, I think, coming down from the drama of last week. And so tonight actually is going to be the Gracies Award. And I was hoping, we get to see Meghan, but apparently she's not scheduled to be there. And I was like, what? Now, I am still hoping maybe she'll surprise us. And, and I know they mentioned it when it's on their Archwell website when she received it. And it was really great, And it was just like, yay! Archetypes win. It's like Meghan wins top entertainment podcast from the Gracie Awards. So they were really excited when they got it. And then someone pointed out today, like, that she actually did her little thank you in this whole, thing that they posted on Archwell. And it says, "Thank you to the Alliance of Women in Media Foundation for this prestigious honor. This is a shared success for me and the team behind Archetypes, most of whom are women, and the inspiring guests who join me every week, Meghan." And so I was like, oh, shoot, that's what that was. I really thought she was going to be there. Now, that doesn't mean she's not going to be there. It's just, apparently she's not expected to be there, but that's not been confirmed by anyone, and that at least that I know. So I was really hoping, and I'm really still hoping, that she comes, and then Mama Doria comes and Harry comes, and they actually go and have a good time, and that's what I'm hoping, and that it's just a more positive experience than yeah, last week was positive as well. It's just the end when they were going home that just it turned really negative. But the whole other stuff, the actual award ceremony and all of that stuff was really wonderful and positive and uplifting. And so I hope, that she can go and then have a positive experience. But again, even if she doesn't go, we're proud of her. We're proud of what she's accomplished with Archetypes, being number one in so many different countries when it came out. And so many people got so many things out of it. Definitely. And it won a People's Choice Award, obviously, and just, so many people who, one of the things they always say is like, I've never really been into podcasts, but listening to this has been really amazing. And so they got turned on to podcasts because of the work Meghan and her team did. And so we're very proud of her and proud of her award. And so anyway, so the Gracies is going to be going on in LA tonight. And so we hope our girl is there, but even if she isn't, we love her. We absolutely love her. And it says the 48 Gracies Award in front and behind camera winners will come together and celebrate their shared achievements. Special performance by Sophia Carson, don't know who she is, and Diane Warren. I know who Diane Warren is. Presenters include Maria Shriver, Jodie Balfour, Camilla Udderton, and more. Don't know who that is either. But, they're all coming together doing their thing tonight in LA. So, hopefully our girl is there. We can celebrate with her. And even if she isn't, we'll celebrate with her anyway, because we just love her. So there. But yeah, it'll be kind of cool if I see her. I have to admit, I was a little disappointed when someone pointed out that, no, I think she already announced or at least thanked everyone for the award already. I was like, oh man. So, but yeah. But anyways, either way, we love you, Meghan. We are definitely looking forward to season 2 of Archetypes. And, if it's going to be the same format or a little bit different, I would assume maybe a little bit different. I'm still holding out for Harry's podcast, mental health podcast. I have all these visions for Harry, talk show host, mental health podcast, everything. I mean, Harry can be an actor. He could, I just have all these visions for Harry because he could just do it. And again, he's very much, even when he is afraid, he'll just go do things. And I love that kind of spirit, and I love that spunk and that chutzpah. I love those with Harry. And so I totally have all these visions for him. So who knows what if he will go into doing it or not. That's just my vision for Harry. So Harry could, if he ever hears this, he could be like, girl, that is so far from what I want to do. I just want to stay focused on, doing my legal stuff. And another thing I think Harry should be doing, since, going after the tabloids and all of that in the court system, I wouldn't be surprised if Harry is studying law. That would be amazing, you can study it anyhow, maybe online or whatever. That's another thing Harry could do, as he's doing it. And I'm sure with all the different court cases going on, including Meghan's crazy, bat crazy sister Samantha, again, as I told you the first day we heard about this um, lawsuit from her crazy sister, and that it was filed in Florida. I told you, Florida it is just different. It's just different. The fact that this lawsuit is going on alone, still going on, to tell you, it's just like Florida just banned Amanda Gorman's poetry. That's to tell you what Florida is. I'm like, what are you people? What are you? And nobody is protesting. Nobody's saying a word because it's Florida. It's like, oh my gosh. Yesterday, I literally saw, and if there are squatties here from Florida, I am sorry. This is not about you. It's just the crazy madness. Just, I don't even know how to describe some of the things that Florida does from their governor on down. I just don't even understand. How is one person going to complain about a poem that Amanda Gorman did at at Joe Biden's inauguration? How is it's just like, how do you ban that poem? Because one parent decided it's not educational, they ban it. They banned it. And poor Amanda Gorman is on Twitter right now being gutted because Florida banned her. And I'm like, so I just quote tweeted, I'm like, because Florida. It's just like, that's all I could say about it. So again, the fact that this court case of Meghan and her crazy sister is still going on is Florida. That's the only thing I can say. It just, oh. But anyway, I said all that to say this. I'm sort of went off on a tangent there about Florida, but I wouldn't be surprised if Harry is also studying law, or at least they're most likely learning so much about the legal system, with the different court cases and the different ways they have to file it, and the patience. Lord, the patience you need to work your case, to work through the court systems, whether it's in the US or the UK, it's like by the end of it, you come out a saint, man. It just like, I'm like, can patience be in somebody else's virtue, please? It is just crazy amount of patience you have to it's just months and months of the same nonsense. And again, if you have to deal with Samantha Mark, it's just like, oh my Lord. Anyways, the case that just won't end because there's a new filing today, and Meghan is responding to it because they dragged Christopher Boozy into it. And it's just like, oh, Father. Anyways, moving on from that madness. What else is happening in the world? Netflix tweeted this out today. Suits, they have now, I guess, optioned the entire series of Suits, and it's going to drop on Netflix on the 17th. And I'm like, maybe Meghan. I'm sure Meghan had something to do with that. And and did she hook up that deal with Netflix and her old series Suits? So of course we're all very excited about it. I haven't seen. I think I saw. And I'm so bad with television shows. I think I saw like I don't think I saw the whole season. I think I saw season one, some of season one. I don't know that I saw the whole season, but I did see a few episodes in there. And so I have Netflix literally just sitting here just doing nothing. So I'm going to invest, since I'm already paying for the thing. I'm going to sit there and I'm going to watch Suits, and I probably dedicate a day and just binge watch it. I don't know that I'd get through all the seasons at all, but I definitely won't be able to get through all of that in a day, but as much as I can. So if you haven't watched Suits and you have Netflix, know that it's coming out on June 17th, and they are excited about it, and squatties are all excited about it as well. And Megan's little pencil skirt, I guess they call those skirts, is back, Very exciting. And even her dress the other day had a kind of pencil skirt-ish kind of thing happening there. Very beautiful. Very, very beautiful gold number that she was wearing. So if she was going, Reba says there's been nothing said about whether Meghan will attend the Gracie Awards. The Paps cannot pull that madness in LA. LAPD will not tolerate that BS. So, you know, yeah. Who knows? Who knows if she would be there? It'd be great to see her. But again, and if she doesn't go, and if last week was the reason, I totally understand that too. Why, we don't know, everybody deals with things differently, and it may still be, something that's so jarring that it might take a minute to shake that off and be able to feel confident again to go out and know that you'll be safe in those environments. So I understand all of it. It's just me selfishly saying, like, no, you get back out there, Meghan, and you do. It's just, I just wanted to see her. And I've been very concerned about them, and I happened to run into Daniel, her friend Daniel, the makeup artist. I never remember his last name, but he posted about her dress, and on the day of the event last Tuesday, and wow, that's like a week ago. And so he posted he posted a photo of her in a gold dress, and so I happened to notice the comments. I scrolled down a little bit and saw comments, and someone was very upset in the comments, and she was very, very concerned if Harry and Meghan were okay. And so he gave a thumbs up, like they're okay. And so that was very good to see that he responded and said, with a thumbs up, that, signaling that they're okay. So that kind of put my heart at rest, like, okay, they're okay. I mean, as okay as you can be when you've experienced something like that, so. And again, I hate to say they're strong, because, we always put that thing there where, like, the person is strong. It's like, well, no, they're human. They're coping, but it's still very traumatic. So, yeah, but it was just good to see Daniel responding and saying with a thumbs up that they're okay. So, whew, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Let's see. I'm just scrolling through your chat and see what you're saying. um, let's see. I'm like scrolling down. Bellatrix Lestrange. I don't think I've seen you here before, Bella. Nice name. I love it. Bellatrix Lestrange. It's like, I don't know, like a character name or something. I love, there's so many wonderful character names here that I absolutely love. So Meg is just wicked beautiful. She really is. She is a stunning, stunning lady. And for all that I've heard about her, minusing the nonsense on Shutter Island and their nasty press and royals, anyone who has met her and who's worked with her have all had the same thing to say. Just what a warm, wonderful person she is, how down to earth they are, just really calm, no fuss, down to earth kind of people. And so it's really, she is beautiful, and she seemed beautiful inside out. Again, I've never met Meghan. I've seen her from afar, once as a blur, and then one of them, I got an okay photo of her in December when they were in New York for the Ripple Awards. So yeah. Let's see. Oh, wait. She's talking to Leslie Dansby. Is it Dansbird one? I'm sure I'm saying it wrong. I probably said it wrong when I said it earlier. Saying, she said, Leslie, I tried the link in the Gracie site to live stream it. It doesn't work. Do you have a link that works? Oh, okay. I didn't know Gracie's was going to be live streaming it. That's good to know. When we're done here, we could probably check it out and see. So I don't know. Let's see. What else is going on? Let's see. What else I got? Today was a little disappointing. It was a little bit disappointing. And it's so funny, but because when you look at it, on one hand, it's disappointing. On the other hand, as a squatty, we were like, that means that Harry and Meghan and the kids don't have to go to Shutter Island because it's not safe. Not that they were all that safe in New York a few days ago, but traveling all the way there. So on one hand, it's like, okay, I'm sure Harry's a little disappointed because nobody likes to not have a ruling go for them. But on the other hand, there's another side to this whole thing. So it says judge rules against Prince Harry's effort to pay for police protection in the UK. The British government stopped providing security after the Duke of Sussex and wife Meghan Markle quit their royal duties and moved to California in 2020. The London judge ruled Tuesday, today, against Prince Harry in his efforts to pay for protection when he visits Britain. A High Court judge rejected the Duke of Sussex's assertion that the British government exceeded its authority when it denied him the right to hire police to provide security in the UK. Harry is separately challenging the decision to deny him government-paid security. That lawsuit is only one of 5 active legal cases he has in London courts. That is not against the British tabloids publishers over allegations of libel and phone hacking. And so Harry has a lot of legal stuff, as we know, going on. So this case today, just in case you're, just tuning in and you didn't realize it was happening, some of you, I'm sure, I didn't check, but maybe Baron was on maybe earlier, or Duchess of Success was probably on earlier. Not sure. I didn't look at their times today, but so you may have, heard this, or if you're on Twitter, I'm sure you've seen it, or just on, the internet at all, you might have seen it pop up, because, those in the British press would be crowing today. It's like, Harry lost, Harry lost, Harry lost. What he wanted to challenge, he wanted an opportunity, basically, to challenge a court ruling, to challenge the decision to let him pay for his own security. Now, when I look at this and I'm like, my standard has been from the moment we heard that, that Harry and Meg, that, when they pulled their security and all of that. And then we heard that they refused Harry's offer to pay for his security and all of that stuff. And then we understood, and then we started hearing all of this stuff where the police has been doing and all this racist stuff. They've been finding police officers in their WhatsApp group, disseminating all these racist, hateful things against Meghan and all of these things. My thing has always been, Harry, are you sure you want these people protecting your family? Because I don't know about you, I wouldn't want anybody, and everything you've heard about the Met Police Department and how they treat especially Black and people of color. Are these the people you really sure these are the people you want with guns around your family? I know I wouldn't trust any one of them at all in any sense of the word. And so I've always been skeptical about this whole thing about having these people protect his family. Now, Harry knows them. He's British, and I've never been there. I'm not around these people, so he knows more than I do. But for me, an outsider looking at these things, these are not the people I would want around my family. I wouldn't want them around me. That's more my wife and kids. If in his situation with his wife and kids, I wouldn't want that. And so for me, I'm seeing this today. I'm like, great. They're not gonna be around Meghan and the kids. So I'm sad for Harry because that's what he wanted, but I'm feeling happy. And then on the other hand, and I'm also feeling happy that, well, now that they said no, that means Meghan and Harry and Meghan and the kids don't have to go there. So on my end, looking at this, I'm like, this is a win. Total win in this whole situation, And on the other hand, if you look at it, say a little bit of reverse psychology here, Harry has now broadcast to the world that he tried every single thing in his book to try to pay for his own security. He did not want taxpayer security. He wanted to pay for it out of his own money. And the court, he took it to court. He had 2 cases filed there, desperately trying to pay for his own security and not take taxpayers' funds. So now nobody could come after Harry claiming, Oh, but why should we have to pay for your security? Because Harry has broadcasted to the world. It is now official court document. So there's no guessing, did he want to pay for security or not? There is no guessing because Harry tried to pay for it and they said no. So nobody could come and come and claim that, and be upset if the taxpayers now have to foot that bill, because now he's also challenging which is the other case that's in court right now. He's also challenging because they took away his taxpayer funded security, so he's also challenging that one. So when he comes to the UK, that he gets proper taxpayer funded security. And so now that they've told him he can't pay for it, if the judge says yes, those taxpayers, those ones that can't afford to pay, pay for their children and they can't afford to feed their families, yes, a lot of you who have been on Twitter today, jumping and screaming and being excited and celebrating the fact that Harry lost where he can't buy, as they claim, he can't buy police protection. Well, y'all are going to be the one that will be having to pay for his security. So for me, I'm looking at that like, well, good. It doesn't have to come out of Harry's pockets. So again, another win, and then those taxpayers can't now complain about Harry having to pay for Harry, because again, Harry went to court to try to pay for his own security and was told no. So there you go. The other side of this is the reason why, a lot of this stuff is happening is control. If the taxpayers pay for the security, then the British press could be like, well, it's taxpayer funded, so everything you do in the UK is in the public interest. If it's, if it comes through RAVEC, royal protection, then he's at the mercy of the royal family. Either way, he can get his privacy invaded. They could be leaking stuff on him because he's basically, his schedule when he's in the UK will be at their mercy because he'll have to notify them when he's coming into the UK. So those are the drawbacks about having either, the taxpayer funded, or when he comes in, he's going to have security no matter what. It may not be at the level that it was when he was a working royal or whatever, but they will have to protect him, because you just can't have the son of the king in your country without security and without protection. That is, then you're basically putting him out there to die. Nobody want that on their heads, at least not in their country. Diana, not in the UK. So anyway, so those are the drawbacks. But for me, I'm looking at it like, you know what? Harry don't have to fork over, money for security in the UK. You don't have to pay for any of those things. And, he can always say, you know what? I'm not coming because your country is not safe. I can't bring my family there. And for me, that's a big win, because Meghan, Archie, and Lily don't have to go there. So all in all, I'm looking at it as, yes, Harry, the ruling went against you, but dude, you won. So I don't know, everybody sees this differently, but that's how I see it. And I'm like, I refuse to be upset about any of that. I'm like, Hi, Meghan and the kids don't have to go. I'm celebrating. So there. And those police officers are not going to be around. I'm celebrating. That was one of the reasons I went, even when Harry went for the coronation, I was like, do not even drink water from those people. Don't even drink water. So there you go. And of course, Harry left with his with his clothes hanger and everything, run off to the airport. So kudos to that. So yeah. Anyways, what else is happening? Hal is like, why rewatching on Amazon Prime? Oh, so you've been rewatching Suits and Up. Oh, that's right. I do have Amazon. Do you guys have all these things, these subscriptions to things that you just never watch? Like, I got an email from Amazon Prime reminding me that I actually have Amazon Prime, that I can actually watch free movies because I never use it. And I was like, oh yeah. And so I do need to, I'm like, I'm telling you. let's say, Joan is like, oh, what scam you up to? The usual scam, the usual. Now she's lying on Christopher Boozy, and Christopher Boozy sent back the funniest emails. I'm sorry, funniest response, I guess, to her lawyer with his not with their nonsense about which and literally misquoting Christopher Boozy, blatantly lying. I mean, again, why is this court case still going on? Because Florida. Florida, that's all you need to know. I said it from the first day I saw that. Florida. Why we have not seceded from Florida yet, I will never know. But it's Florida. Just all you need to know. Joy says H&M security team has to be ready for the madness, in which I know they will if they go tonight. Yeah, obviously. I mean, stuff is definitely going to be beefed up there a little bit. Again, I don't think anybody was prepared in any way for a Tuesday because, again, we don't have that kind of culture, paparazzi running down after you. That said, apparently Taylor Swift is, I don't know if she's doing I mean, Taylor Swift lives in New York. She's, she has an apartment here in New York. And I have never, in all the time she's been here, never had heard of people hanging out by her apartment building. And I think she's in concert now. So obviously, she's in the headlines and she's doing concerts. And I don't know, I didn't check if her concert is now in New York, if the stop is in New York now. But someone posted on Twitter with all of these people. It was like an overhead shot. All of these people hanging out in front of her building. And I was like, what on earth? I have never heard of people hanging out. I mean, just sort of camped out in front of her building, I guess, in hopes of her coming out and go. That is so freaky. It's like, what has New York come to in the last few days? It's like a whole different city that I don't even recognize. And so it's just like, again, we don't have that culture. We don't have a culture of paparazzi running after or chasing in cars, especially after a celebrity, because they all live here. A lot of them live here, and you see them every day. It's not something that, oh my gosh, there's a celebrity. It's like they live right here. You see them all the time. So it's not a big deal. And so that's why I think, when one of them, the security was like, they've never seen anything like that before. Yeah, because we don't have that kind of culture in New York. It's just really odd. This last week has been really odd with fans or celebrities and stuff. It's just, I don't know. It's something in the air or something. It's like, what is wrong with us? So anyways, what else is happening? But yes, Joyce, I think, definitely would be definitely wherever, if she goes tonight or not, or wherever they turn up next, they will definitely, I'm assuming, be more of them, and also be definitely prepared for paparazzi shenanigans. So talk about paparazzi. Zane, one of our squatties on Twitter, Books Busy, posted this today. She says, paparazzi needs two things: famous people and fans who want to oogle them doing even mundane things. And again, my standard with paparazzi and their photos. And especially, I talk about this all the time, especially when they're doing mundane things, personal things that we know is personal things. They're going shopping. They're eating at a restaurant. They're coming out of their house. They're with their children. Those are personal. I mean, we all know what those things are. And the thing with, again, with paparazzi is when you start consuming what they're, photographing, they'll get even more personal. They're going to invade even more because they want to get to the mundane. See, the celebrity is just like us. That thing, I think in one of those magazines, they always had some stuff like this where celebrities are just like us, and people lap up that thing, and that's the thing, so that's why for me, I have such a strict standard. I will not participate in the paparazzi game, whether or not the celebrity has called them, because some celebrities do. They call paps to, call paps on themselves because they want to get themselves in a newspaper or a magazine, a tabloid, whatever. Some people do. I don't care. You can call it on yourself if you want to. I'm not posting it. because I know what those things do. And so, anyways, I'm not going to belabor paparazzi point. But talking about paparazzi and photos, I posted this yesterday and I had to laugh because I was like, are you serious? Because you know how the British press always, with Meghan, oh, she just loves the camera and she just, she's just all about fame and wants attention and all of those things. So yesterday I saw this. Apparently, Kate Middleton was out at in the UK is the Chelsea flower show right now. And every time I think of a flower show, I want to sneeze because I'm allergic to flowers. So it's just like that mental thing in my head. And so she's out there, and apparently she went there for this supposed surprise picnic. And so when I saw the photos as a photographer, the one thing that jumped out at me was all of those cameras these adults are holding in their hands, all these photographers holding all of these cameras pointed at these little children. And I was like, are you serious? Are you serious? You have all of these people around these little children pointing like, and if you look at all the three pictures, it's like 4, 8, 9, well, yeah, 8, 9, 9 cameras in all pointed at these kids. Why do you need 9 cameras around you to begin with? You're just sitting there supposedly having a time with little kids. And of course, if you see the wider shots, a lot of them, the majority, 99% of the photos, she is next to a little black kid. Of course, we know how the royals use those kids as little props, and it was very hilarious because someone posted pictures of the little kids and their faces and they were not into it. And the one thing I love about kids, yes, Leslie, the faces, you saw it on Twitter. And I was like, I didn't have time to go find the photos to get the kids. I was only able to find one because we were laughing at every single one of those pictures with the little kids, black kids next to her. The faces of those kids, it was just like, and kids, they don't play. If they don't like you, they don't like you. They don't pretend. And so it was just, their faces was like, oh my goodness. And so I don't know why they allowed those pictures again. I don't, they allowed them to go out there into the public. And so it was just very funny. But my thing was there, when I tweeted it, I was like, how many photographers does Kate Middleton and Kensington Palace have pointing their cameras at these little children and herself for her surprise picnic? Oh, but this is not staged for the media attention or anything at all. It's not, oh no, not really. It's not staged. Because they always like to convince you that, oh, no, it's just natural. She just went and she's, engaging with the kids and all of that stuff. And then you see all the cameras. And then it's like, it really rings home that this is all it's about. This is all it's about. It's about her, getting attention. It's about her pictures in the press the next day. This is all this is about. It is nothing deeper than that. And oh yes, she's next to a bunch of black kids who are not feeling her, and it's just, I was like, oh my goodness. Yeah. I always question like the parents of these kids. I mean, I don't understand. By now, you would think that especially black and brown parents in the UK, I would think by now they would be clued into this nonsense because we all know what that is. This is the, royal family. I'm not racist, thing that they do all the time when they have, they use black people as props. And it just, you would think they wouldn't allow their kids to be used in this way. And they just allow it, as a parent. If I'm a parent and I'm looking at this and maybe other parents don't notice because could be because I'm a photographer. The one thing I would stick out of there for me is all the cameras, and maybe they won't notice it. But if I'm a parent and I see, I would be like, whoa, wait a minute. Why do all of those people have cameras on my kids? And then if you look at the picture very carefully, you see how many royal aides are around her. And it's just like, oh my gosh. It's just, oh, So, anyways, it's very, 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 very interesting. I don't get it. More on the, the royal mess, the absolute royal mess that's happening. They had all this stuff attacking Harry and the British press. It's so funny with this whole drama. Yeah, on Tuesday, last Tuesday, one of the things that is very clear that's come out of it is that British the reporters in the British press they wrote their stories out. They all had the narrative. They all had the same narrative, knowing that it's Harry and Meghan's fifth wedding anniversary. They all had the same narrative. If you listen to or read anything from them, they had the narrative of Harry being miserable, Meghan they're arguing, their marriage is breaking up, Harry is sleeping, having rooms in some place, and all of this mess. They already had this narrative. And Tuesday, it seemed like they sent out their photographers to get photos to match that narrative. And so even though the only photos that is out there playing, of Harry and Meghan, apart from one when they're in the taxi, the ones that playing is the ones when they're on the carpet and they're at the event, and it's beautiful photos with Meghan, Harry, and also with them with Daria. Is they don't have a choice, because since Meghan and them put out the notice and put them on blast that they couldn't use those paparazzi shots after they chased them, they have no choice but to use the foundation, the award ceremonies photos. So you would see all these crazy articles, including one by Camille Tomlin is a liar, about how Harry is miserable. His marriage is, him and Meghan are frazzled, and that they, because they have kids, so they're frazzled, and all of these things. And every time you turn around, is a royal reporter talking about how miserable they are and how the marriage is falling apart, and how they give it, they give it only a few more years. And it's just like, it really drives home that they really already all wrote this narrative. And it's kind of like a clown show, in the fact that they all have the same narrative. It's kind of like the royal family gathered their clowns together. It's like, okay, this is the narrative. Harry and Meghan are miserable. Their marriage is breaking up. So go find pictures to match that, and write your articles to match that narrative. And everybody write about the same thing. And everybody's trying to get the same photos. And then Meghan and Harry blew it up and they can't use the photos. And it's really, it's really, really, really ridiculous. And one of the things that's come out in the last day or so, someone posted this and I had to laugh. And then so I found the archive version of this article. If you want, I mean, I don't usually post the British tabloid articles or links to them, but this one was very interesting. Kate treats William like the fourth child, as he's prone to tantrums. And if you read a little bit further down, you get a sense of how royal reporters, royal commentators, royal biographers, and all of those things, how they minimize abuse, how they minimize violence, especially when it has to do with the royal family. Because how many episodes I've done here talking about William's rage, his anger issues, him screaming at people, screaming at his father, screaming at Kate. His staff are literally afraid of him. It is so well documented about William's uncontrollable anger issues. And so this is how they minimize it and make his anger issues cute. They even use the word. A palace insider has provided a cute insight into the inner workings of Prince William and Kate's Prince and Princess of Wales marriage. And this little excerpt in the article says, the royal author continued, whoever the royal author is that wrote this, they sourced this piece from. But where some couples have a row and throw heavy vases at each other, William and Kate throw cushions at each other. It's always kept under control. And this is the thing that you see in a lot of these articles when they're talking about William's rage. They're trying to minimize it and cuddle it and cute it up. They always talk about when William is going after Kate and she's responding, and however their bust ups are, they always have that thing about it where they end up with, it's always kept under control. And I'm like, there's going to be a day when they can't control this any longer, because they are coddling a violent, abusive person. Violent, we know from his attack on Prince Harry that they haven't dealt with, that they've minimized and made it, oh, it's just brothers fighting brothers. It's no big deal. And here again, we talked about yesterday how reporters know the truth, they know what's happening, and they refuse to speak the truth. They either twist it, as in this case, minimize it to where it's cute. Oh, they don't throw vases at each other. They just throw pillows at each other. And it's kept under control. Right. Until it isn't. Until it isn't. Because no one has the guts, it seems, to go after William and make sure that he gets help he needs. This guy has never gotten help for his anger issues. We have seen his anger issues since he was a tiny boy, since Princess Diana was alive. We've seen videos of him hitting her. We've seen videos of him hitting his father. William has had anger issues his entire life that they have not taken care of. He has not gotten the help he has needed. He has not taken it seriously. Even Harry talks about it, that he even encouraged William to come with him, and William doesn't feel like he needs it. But yet we keep hearing these stories about William's anger issues. And now they're babying it up and, making it like a little kid. Oh, no, he just has temper tantrums. If this was a black man that they were talking about, temper tantrums would not be in this article. Yes, I know it's the Express, and I use it because that's their tabloid. This is part of their rota. The Mirror, which is the other article, is also part of their rota. It's who represents and who speaks on what they do, apparently. And their rota, their tabloid from their rota that they chose to be their mouthpieces, is saying William has anger issues, but they're babying up and prettying it up as temper tantrums like his little 4-year-old kid, Louis. So now they've reduced him to a little kid. And his anger issues that flares out at people is a tantrum. And they just throw pillows at each other. Unbelievable. And away from that a little bit, you talk about William staying on him a little bit. We've heard this week about them desperately trying to kick Prince Andrew out of the lodge so he could move into his $30 million lodge. You remember last year when we had this whole thing with William and Kate when they were moving into Adelaide Cottage, and it started with him being on the streets and pretending he is helping, and helping this homeless newspaper out there, which, by the way, has since gone under. It's no longer. And you would think, since William used them for publicity, that he would help keep them afloat. But oh no, that was just to help William, not to help the homeless people he supposedly was there to help. That was for him to appear to people as if he is just a regular guy, the regular Joe. They're going to leave their big mansion at Kensington Palace and they're going to downsize. They're going to downsize so small, they're going to move into this tiny little cottage in Windsor called Adelaide. It is so tiny that their nanny can't even live there. There's no space for her to live there because it's so tiny. Except when the Sussexes, they said the Sussexes were going to get Adelaide Cottage, they made it like this palace. And we did a whole episode on that. But when William and Kate were, they're scheduled to move in there, it became this tiny little cottage that was so tiny that even their babysitter couldn't even live. She had to live away. It was not until the Sussex Squad called them out relentlessly and called out the press relentlessly for their lies that that narrative went away. And then literally their reporters started reporting the truth, because we were showing overhead footage of Adelaide Cottage that there are 2 houses on that property and not one. And that their nanny most likely lived in the second house on that property. And then we were pointing out over and over and over the fact that they have 4 properties and 5 homes. And so this whole narrative, this whole lie that they had built coming from that event, that Prince William on the streets with this, he's just regular Joe thing. I remember Baron and I doing podcasts on that one, calling out their lies. Now they have abandoned the whole, we're downsizing, when we kept pointing out over. And I'm telling you, I am so grateful for the squad, because we blanketed Twitter with their lies and calling it out. I mean, there was so many pictures of all their homes on Twitter. It was funny, And so now what they're doing is trying to kick Andrew out of his one house in Windsor. Never mind, again, they have 4 properties and 5 homes. They're trying to now kick Andrew out of his $30 million home there that he's lived for 20 years, so they could now move into Andrew's home. So now we're adding a 6 home to their portfolio. And so apparently Andrew refused to move. And I never thought that I would get to this day. But I am like, you know what, Andrew, you stay right there. You stay right in that house. I'm like, there comes a day when I'm sitting here agreeing with Andrew, and on Andrew's side. And again, my thing with Andrew, obviously, Andrew should be in jail. That's where he should be. But if they're not going to put him in jail and he's there, my thing is, if you can, as my standard with this whole thing is, if you can accept Charles as your king, then Andrew is fine, because Charles and Andrew are one of the same. So that's where I stand on that. So if Charles can have all these homes and have his title and all this money, then Andrew is entitled to what he has. Because again, they're one in the same. If you can accept Charles, then you can accept Andrew. And that's why the British people you don't see any outrage anymore. Along with them still paying for his security. the one that they've denied Prince Harry. Yeah, that. And so now we're learning, well, not now, we've known it, but another one of their tabloids, the Mirror, who is part of their rota, I'm just gonna move myself out of the way there, is reporting and reminding people that not only that Prince William has all of that property, including trying to kick Prince Andrew out of his one house, Prince William is the owner of the Isle of Scilly. The Isle of Scilly is just a short hop from the mainland UK, boasts a desirable microclimate, tranquil British island owned by Prince William, which he visits with his Kate and his kids. Britain's very own slice of paradise is only an hour by plane. We've seen them visiting the island before. I think it was last year they were there, or last year or the year before, with subtropical plants, dozens of sightseeing opportunities buried within its sleepy, unspoiled landscape. So the next time they want to come about, William, they're moving, they have to move out of their tiny little Adelaide cottage because Charlotte's friends have place to play in that little cottage. It's so little, it's not befitting a future king. They need a home that has 30 rooms. Just remember that they also own an island. It's just, I'm like, I just can't. I'm like, and it's like Britain's own slice of paradise. It's not Britain's own slice of paradise. It's Prince William's own slice of paradise. It's just like, oh my gosh. And there's no outrage. There is no outrage. Unbelievable. What else is happening in the royals? Yes, again, coming back to that whole mess about you always know when stuff is going on when the royal family and the British press are trying to hide something. They always use Harry, and then they transfer whatever it is or project whatever it is that's going on with the royals onto Harry or Meghan. And of course, yesterday or 2 days ago, whatever it was, the 21st, what is today? The 23rd, I think it is. I lost track. Um, King Charles retreats off grid home without Queen Camilla. We've seen this pattern before. Last year, Queen Camilla went off to her little retreat without Charles. And she went off to India to do whatever it is she was doing over there without Charles. And now Charles is going off to Transylvania. He has a property out there. I mean, again, the royal family is one of the richest people in the world. They have more property than just about anybody in the world. They have more money than just about anybody in the world. And so they own this, Charles owned this property. And so he is going off there. I think it's the beginning of June, whatever it is, off to his retreat without Camilla. So in order for them to distract people from wondering, well, why are you guys always never together, really? And, we remember, and this has been a pattern with them. They don't really live together. Charles, we remember, another one of their tabloids. Charles retires to his beloved Highgrove estate after dropping Camilla at her Wiltshire mansion, as the new monarch is afforded 24 hours of contemplation during the hectic schedule of events leading to his mother's funeral. This is not just that time. A lot of times Camilla is at her mansion and Charles has his place. It seems they come together when they have engagements or something or spend a little time together. But a lot of times, this is their lifestyle. You see this a lot where they're not really together. And so, which is what I was just like, the nonsense that the press were talking about Harry, I was just like, if I just paid 250 million pounds to crown this man and his supposed wife, king and queen, then I would have a few questions about why they never seem to be living together. Again, remember those when one would get COVID and the other never got it, and the other one got it, the other never. I'm like, do you two actually even live together? Because it doesn't seem that way. It's just, again, I would have serious question about the fraud because they're pretending to be together. That's what the picture that they're presenting. But are they really together? Or it's just marriage of convenience so what they can have the crown and hide whatever it is they're hiding, And so it's one of those things, again, whenever they go after Harry and Meghan and project their mess onto Harry and Meghan, it's something that they're doing, that they're trying to hide, minimize, or distract the public from so they don't ask questions, because they know if I could throw Harry's name out there, I can make the people think that Harry is the same as this, where, they're not together or they have a marriage of convenience or whatever. Again, I'm not in people's bedrooms. I don't really focus on people's marriages and all of those things. But I kind of got irritated because I realized that is what they were doing. Because their own press, again, these are their tabloids, and I'm using their own mouthpieces and what they were writing about yesterday. But what they're trying to do, they know the truth. They will put it there, but then they will distract you with something about the Sussexes, some lie about the Sussexes, so that you don't focus on what the truth is. So they could claim like, oh, but I put it there. But then they distract you with the shiny object of Harry and Meghan. This is how tabloids work. And this is how, again, what they've been doing. And so that's why I'm like, well, no wonder we had that stupid stuff about Harry, because this is exactly what Charles and William do. Even William was apparently off working by himself, the last couple of days or whatever. He was away for work or something like that. Again, projecting their mess onto the Sussexes. And again, I am not in anybody's, I don't know these people. I don't know what goes on in their home. I don't know, I don't vouch for any, like I say this all the time. I never vouch for people's relationships. I don't vouch for people's marriages. I can only speak on what they present. I can only speak on what they show us. I don't know what goes on in their homes. I've never met these people, but I can speak on what I see in front of me. And that this is what I see in front of me. So again, it's just, again, projection. But again, this is presented, what, 2 weeks ago? Husband and wife. But then they're not together, other than when you see them, sometimes do an engagement together. And it's just like, okay, is this some kind of a fraud? Is this some kind, who knows? But anyways, moving on. I don't want to belabor the whole thing. Actually, let me jump in the chat for a minute and see what you guys are saying and talking about, and then we'll come back to that. Let's see. Gwendolyn says William and Kate can't even fake it anymore. Yeah, those two, it's just, I don't know. Again, I'm not in people's marriages. I don't know. Maybe, they can go through a rough patch or whatever. Again, and I gotta be honest with this. I don't root for people's relationships to end. For me, I root for, even if you're going through stuff, you work, unless there's like abuse and stuff like that in a relationship, then I'm like, no, get out. But if it's just, everybody goes through stuff. Every relationship have challenges and all of those things. And for me, I'm about people working through your relationship and you stay together. So for me, even though I have no, I don't know. I have no thing in these relationships. I don't really care one way or another, per se. I don't advocate for their relationship to break up. It just looks like they're just, very separate. It looks in a lot of ways look like they're separate. I'm not advocating for their relationship, to break up. If they're married, work through your stuff and stay together. They're already married. Kate and William, the same thing. I do not care about Kate and William, but I don't advocate for their marriage to break up either, especially that they have young children. I would never advocate for that. So as I'm talking, again, I'm just saying what's in front of me. But the bottom line is I don't advocate for anybody's relationship to break up, because I understand the pain of breaking up, especially if you've been married for a long time, and especially when you have children. Unless it's a situation of abuse where it's abusive, then I'm like, get out of there, because you're not helping yourself or your kids. So I just wanted to just point that out. Let's see what else. Rosa says, she's talking to Gwendolyn, 100%. Thank God Harry got help, did the work, and it shows. Yeah, Harry got help, and he's, dealt with his, his demons, you could say, and been very open about it. That's why he could speak on it from the heart, and you could tell the difference when he speak about it and when, say, William or Kate speak about it, because they could just say general stuff. They can't speak from it from the heart, because they've never ever gotten help for it. So they don't know that part of it. So they haven't gotten the help they need. Hence, William is the rage monster that he is. So let's see. Arsman says, Anne Lewis, you had to have no business acumen to believe these people got rich selling party trinkets. The Chinese do it for less. How many parties does the average family have each year? Sniff. I'm assuming you're talking about the Middleton's business, Party Pieces, has fallen apart. And just in case you didn't know, it was about to go into Chapter 11 or in the US Chapter 11 or bankruptcy. And so it was bought. Somebody bought it and they made no money off of it. They did not make a cent off of this. And again, I have the same question. How did they make money off of this again? And apparently they were in so much debt. That's why they didn't make, they didn't make any money off of it. And yeah, it's a big question. as to how exactly they made money off of that. And of course, we know they try to expand it. They try to get into the US market by doing some discount store in New Jersey. I'm like, whoever told you that was a good idea? I just like, what? So yeah, that's, well, I mean, the other hand is at least they got it off their hands. It's off somebody else's drama now. It'd be interesting what they'd be doing next. I don't know. Maybe just they're taking care of their little grandbabies. So yeah, very much interesting. Joan Hickey says that person. Tom Bauer maintains they are all fighting, including the king and his bit. I don't know what bit means. Would I be shocked? No, it's the royal family. So it's always drama. One of the things someone pointed out, which was very stark. I mean, when the Queen was alive and Charles and Camilla, which I will always believe the Queen was, they either twisted the Queen's arm to get her to, declare Camilla should be Queen consort. Nobody in that family wished her, anything. They were silent. Nobody congratulated her, nothing. And so apparently, and I haven't seen the footage. I did not watch the coronation. I've only seen little clips with Harry on Twitter. But apparently, when she was crowned and she was walking by, not one person, including the members of the royal family, bowed to her. And I was like, whoa, that is very interesting. That's like nobody bowed, and everybody's face was just like stone, and no one bowed to her or, curtsy or whatever it is they're doing. No one did. And it was just like, wow. Very interesting. Now, maybe people in the back did when she was walking by who respect her, but no, none of the royal family did. And it's very, very, very interesting. So again, I haven't seen the footage because I boycotted the coronation. I only paid attention to where Harry was there, and that was it. So let's see. Oh yeah, and I saw the bit with William reading off that. I would never get over that. William reading a couple of sentences off a cue card. Unbelievable. Let's see. Who else? Oh yeah, TB is talking about the receipt. Yep, he is in trance. So, well, actually, I thought they said it was the beginning of June. Maybe I could be wrong. So I didn't think he left yet, but yeah. But I could be very wrong. So there you go. Let's see. Kids and Dora said, oh, she's talking to Church. Nelly, I can't wait till the day the British people tells the unroyals time to turn in your jewels, money, property, etc. and get to stepping. Did you guys hear? And I didn't even get a chance to read the story. I just saw a screenshot of it about, I think was a young Ethiopian king. He was a kid, I guess, that I guess the British people stole him and he died here and was buried. And the Ethiopian people are asking back for his body, and Buckingham Palace is saying no. And along with the king, it seemed, and I got to go back and read the story. I'm like, they stole a king, a little kid, child prince or whatever he was. It seemed like they stole him along with a bunch of Jews. And now they refuse to give. And I was just like, are you serious? So next time I come on, I'm gonna have this story better. I was just literally happened to be scrolling and I was like, no way. And Ethiopia is apparently demanding the body of this child, and Buckingham Palace is like, no. And I'm like, unbelievable. Let's see. Rosehill says Andrew is being childish, digging his heels in. William is childish. I want it over the Royal Lodge. This all shows the way Harry act like an adult in comparison. The royals are they are just emotionally stunted people. They are still kids. They have not grown up in any sense of the word, And again, William owns all this stuff. Why does he want Andrew's house? It's like the selfishness is an entitlement is unbelievable. You know, it's like, so while I do not care about Andrew or William, I'm like, Andrew, you stay right there. You stay right there. So unbelievable. Let's see what else is happening in the world. Um, don't know if you guys saw this story. It wasn't. It's a little bit of not a royal story, but not. But I was very interested in this story because, I mean, as I read it, I wanted to just pay attention to see if any of this sounds familiar with how. Well, I'm just gonna read it, and we can chat if you'd like about it. This is from an Australian, from Canberra, Australia, and this journalist he's an Indigenous journalist, and his name is Stan Grant. He's one of the most respected journalists in Australia. I think the first Indigenous journalist, I guess. To be on national television. He was his news outlet is ABC in Australia, and so it says prominent Australian Indigenous journalist Stan Grant quit television hosting duties on Monday in response to online racist abuse over his comments during King Charles III's coronation about the historical Aboriginal disposition. Grant, a member of the Wiraj, and I'm going to butcher this, I apologize, Wiradjuri tribe and of Indigenous Australians and former international correspondent for US-based CNN, said at the end of the Australian Broadcasting Corp's weekly national panel discussion program, Q&A, that he was stepping away for a little while because his soul is hurting. His supporters say inaccurate, very important, inaccurate and inflammatory reporting on his views in the mainstream media has fueled racial abuse and threatening personal attacks on social media, wearing the news veteran down. The Guardian picked up the story a little bit. It says Stan Grant faced unrelenting racism. Fellow ABC panelist says a scale of conservative coverage revealed. Data suggests Sky News, Rupert Murdoch news outlet, and The Australian, another Rupert Murdoch news outlet, mentioned the ABC coverage of Charles's coronation more than 150 times in the past 2 weeks. And this is a little bit more of it. It says, on Friday, Grant announced he walked away from hosting Q&A after Monday's episode, following what he says was the media lying and distorting his words while criticizing ABC coverage of Charles III's coronation. He went on to say, I am not a producer nor a presenter of the coronation broadcast, yet every newspaper article accusing the ABC of bias has carried my image, Grant wrote for the ABC on Friday. I am writing this because I will not have people depict me as a person of hate. And this is, again, in 2 weeks since the coronation, because apparently he said something that the Rupert Murdoch tabloid didn't, or news outlets didn't like. In 2 weeks, they ran 150 news articles criticizing ABC, the television station's coverage of Charles' coronation. And in all 150, they've used his photo in criticizing them and accusing them, And again, in light of what we know from how the British press work with Harry and Meghan, I just wanted to see if you saw any similarities in how the Rupert Murdoch media behave in Australia, and also compared to how they behave in the UK with Meghan, and especially Meghan. And also, picking up the story a little bit, the Sydney Morning Herald, which is not Rupert Murdoch owned, they had an opinion piece about it. He said, to understand journalist Stan Grant's walking away, to understand what journalist Stan Grant's walking away really means, we must remember where this particular story started, with the coronation. In a discussion during the ABC coverage of the event, Grant made the points he had made before about the monarchy's ties to extermination and theft of land. Critics rounded on him, and the ABC social media filled with racism broadcast Grant's comments with terrible mistakes or lies or twisting it, really. Those critics says viewers should have been left in peace to enjoy the spectacle, not confronted with talk of violence. So Rupert Murdoch media did not want to face, Stan Grant to be talking about the, extermination of his people and the theft of their land by the British. They didn't want that. And because he decided to talk about that during the coronation, Rupert Murdoch media has gone after him so badly that he literally has had to quit because of all the abuse that has been directed at him and his family. And so he's apparently taking a long break. They said he has not resigned from ABC, at least not yet. But one of the things that he also addressed in an article that he wrote is the fact that his television station, they want him to always speak truth to power. And when he speaks truth to power during the coronation, where he pointed out, while they're celebrating, is that, the monarchy's role in the extermination of his people and theft of his people's land, ABC did not back him up. Not one executive stood up for him, calling out the racism of the Rupert Murdoch tabloid and the lies and misinformation and how they twisted a lot of his words. And they didn't call out the 150 articles and news items using his picture. And again, I talk a lot about what it is to monster a person. And this is exactly another example of monstering. This is the same thing they do, the Rupert Murdoch and the Rothermere media in the UK. This is how you monster a person. You incite hate by twisting their words, lying, misinforming about them, and using their picture in every single thing, whether it has to do with them or not, all in an effort to plant in their audience's mind that this is the person you go against. This is the bad person. This is the person that makes you not be able to pay your rent. This is the person that makes you not be able to find food on your table. This is the person, because they don't agree with him speaking out about the monarchy. It's the same pattern. They do it in Australia, they do it in the UK, and they have Fox News in the US and the New York Post and Page 6 doing it in the US right now. And this is how it's like, again, they're creatures of habit. So if you watch their patterns, it's the same pattern. It's the same exact pattern. And, Stan Grant was saying he's not leaving because of the racism, but he's leaving because of the corruption in the media. He's leaving because of the misinformation in the media and how the media incite online racism and hatred, and he wants no part of it. That's why he's leaving. It's the same pattern. Omid Scobie testified against the Mirror. And a couple of days ago, was it yesterday? The new Rupert Murdoch media, I think it was the Times, wrote this article trying to embarrass and humiliate Omid about his past and all about those things. And so Omid, he testified and he knew this was going to come. He knew what they were going to do because they always try to do that to him. And so he wrote this whole thing about, his time. They tried to embarrass him because he used to work for this tabloid called The Heat. And so Omid fought back and wrote this whole thing about what his time. He's like, I'm not ashamed of what of my work. He had just come out of college, his first job out of college. And he's like, okay, this is what my experience was at The Heat. Since you're trying to use it to embarrass me or to try to, to belittle me by working there. And Omid talks about the racism that he experienced from his boss, who he said is now a columnist. I don't know, which one was his former boss, and all the racism. And he pointed out all the racist things this man did, and the HR did nothing. And so whoever this person is and is working in the British press right now is know that they're on blast, because Omid didn't say who it is, but Omid listed every single thing. Well, I mean, at least, I don't know, I'm sure he probably did more things than that. But some of the gross things he did towards Omid, including, calling him derogatory names and all of that stuff, calling him a name he's not, the derogatory name that people call people from Pakistan. Omid is not from Pakistan. And it's just all of these things. It is what they do. You go against the media, you go against the narrative, and this is what they do. Omid is the poster child for attacking reporters. Everything is dumping on Omid. Oh, he's the Sussex's mouthpiece. And we see how the media has monstered Meghan, and now both Meghan and Harry, where people, them going through the horror of last Tuesday, and you have people mocking them and laughing at them and claiming that they have made it up and all of those things. Why? They don't even know why they hate Harry and Meghan. But because the media, the Rupert Murdoch media, and I talk about this so often, they are so good at monitoring people. It is scary how good they are at brainwashing people to believe their narrative. And the thing about it, and you see it in Donald Trump as well, they repeat the same narrative over and over and over and over and over, and they implant the same lying narrative. And the thing is, they know if they repeat the same lie over and over and over, what it's, if you notice how they want privacy is now the main thing they throw at the Sussexes. They want privacy, It's like, we know the truth that Harry and Meghan never said that, but they have implanted it so much in people that people can't believe that Harry and Meghan never said that, because now it's just taken as fact. Reporters are now taken it as fact, and they're spreading even in legit media. And it's the same thing with the stuff that happened last week, that Harry and Meghan said they had a high-speed car chase. Nowhere in that statement was a high-speed car chase. Yet everyone has taken. Why? Because that lie has been repeated over and over and over. So now for some people, it's become truth that is embedded in them. So no matter what Harry and Meghan says, no matter what the squad says, people will not let go of the fact that Harry and Meghan did not leave for privacy, and they did not say anything about high-speed chase. And that is how scary good they are at monstering. It is like unbelievable to watch it happen. And so it's, so when I saw this, I was like, yep, I recognize it. I definitely recognize it, because that is what they do. That is what they do to people. Trevor says, Meghan needs, Trevor Rodney. Hello, Trevor. Trevor says, Meghan needs a good PR team. They need to push back sometime. I agree with this. And for me, the one mistake that I feel like Harry and Meghan have made in this whole thing, I mean, nothing that would cause abuse, that should cause abuse or anything. I think the one mistake, if I could point to the one mistake, and I've said it from the beginning, that Harry and Meghan says is that they have made, is allowing their content in the American press, whether through interviews or any of those things, is building any kind of, say, relationship or doing interviews with the American press. For me, that has always been a thing that I hoped, and I still pray and hope, that they will understand that they do not need the American press. The American press is no different from the British press. As you can see, even now, with this, especially that whole thing that just happened last week, how easy it is for them to be brainwashed by the British press. As long as you're white and have a British accent, the Americans will fall for it. It is very clear. As long as they're British accent and you're white, the American media will have you on. It doesn't matter what you say, they'll believe it, and they will spread it. And so for me, I just think even from whether it's Oprah or Gayle or whatever, because they're all working for a network television, whether it's CBS, ABC, CNN, whatever, Variety, whomever, New York or whatever. My thing with it, and everybody sees their communication differently. Everybody sees their, the kind of coverage they want to see for whatever content they have. And probably because I am very independent minded and very entrepreneurial minded, I have always believed that Harry and Meghan had never needed the American press to get their work out there. They have a platform. They have a platform to do it. All you got to do is hire, whether, I don't personally want them on social media. It's like, stay far away. But you can hire a team that have social media that just turn off your comments, where you are getting your stuff out there, or have a website that is constantly being updated with new work, putting out videos, putting out however you want to. Meghan had a blog, and doing it like that. You do not need the American media. And so when last week happened and you see the American media start behaving exactly the way British media is, to where I just saw an article yesterday from NBC talking about the dual role that Harry and Meghan are trying to have, where they want their privacy, but they also need the American media to promote their. They literally said that in the article, that they need the American media to promote their work. And I'm like, no, they don't. They have somehow convinced themselves that they need the American media. And I'm like, you don't. You do not need NBC. This is the year of our Lord 2023, where you have multiple ways of promoting yourself. You have multiple social media platforms to promote yourself. You don't see Beyonce out there, once in a while, Beyonce would grace our presence down in us little peasants and do an interview and throw away. But the majority of time, Beyonce is not out there, doing interviews or promoting. She just posted, literally, she just posts something on her social media page and it sells out. And I'm not saying, Meghan is Beyonce or anything, but Meghan has a worldwide reach. Harry has a world. They do not need the American press. They definitely don't need the British press. Don't give them that. But they don't need the American press. Meghan never needed the American press to do interviews for archetypes. Because a lot of things, when you read the interviews, very little of the interview was about the podcast. They basically wanted more to focus on her life, and very little. The cut interview was kind of really acidy in a way, how the girl who wrote it. It was more about her opinion of Meghan than it was about Meghan, really, And so that for me is the only thing, if I were to criticize Harry and Meghan, would be that. And if the only thing I would say for them, please change that. You don't need it. You don't need that. They have such a worldwide following. They have such a huge, amount of respect from people around the world. I'm like, you guys could do it. You guys could, have your own media, as opposed to allowing NBC to have any kind of say in anything you do and rely on them for this reporter to be like, oh, they need American media to promote. And I'm like, that is such a lie. You just need a team that understands that you are in the year of the Lord 2023 and understand how it works, and not doing things and relying on People magazine to put out a statement, or even, like I remember their PR was trying to correct stuff in the Times. I'm like, the Times write some of the nastiest articles because they use a British reporter to write nasty articles about Harry and Meghan. Why are you correcting stuff in the Times? Ain't nobody paying attention to the Times. Very little, So I just think they have to get to a mindset, or whomever they hire. And I'm not coming down on this girl at all. She's doing the best she can. So I'm just going to say that. She is doing the best she can. But I would just love for them to understand that kind of correcting thing, by the time you get to that lie is already around the world, because it's spread on social media. So it's like, you either correct it quickly, or you have your in-house communication team that understands how news is spread right now. And so the old way of going to the People magazine, the old way of going to the Times or one of those outlets to correct any narrative is over. You know, again, they have a beautiful platform in Archwell. They just need somebody to be on the ball on there and not just posting. You know me, I'm always like, Archwell, update your site so we can promote you. I want to promote them. I want to be able to be like, yeah, they're doing this every day. I don't care. Put inspirational quote on. I mean, I don't care, but have someone who's doing that regularly. They have your people who are, they whether it's you're emailing people, you have an email list of people that you're constantly, I mean, whatever, they just need to have someone on it. The sporadicness of it is where people could write all these lies about them, and then it takes them forever, the PR person forever, to be able to, pick a magazine or whatever to correct something. And I'm just saying, is being proactive in how they do PR as opposed to relying on American media. Because again, American press is not to be trusted. It's they don't attack as British press in some ways. They're not going, and hack your phone and all of that crazy stuff. They don't do that. But if you look at what they do to, say, Vice President Kamala Harris, how they have just gone after her because they apparently missed the drama of Donald Trump, and Kamala Harris has just put her head down and do her work. If you look at what they're doing to her, it's just hello, and again, it's just the White House is suffering from the same thing. It's like they also need to have a PR people that is in the year 2023 and understand how information is disseminated and how quickly it goes, and you got to be on the ball, and your PR people and your team of getting your message out there, correcting lies before it spreads all over the world. I was proud of them with the nonsense with Harry the other day. They just put a stop to that right away. Kudos to them and that. But I'm just saying, please stop relying on the American press, because what the American press does is that they build you up. And then all of them, they go to like the backlash phase where all of them attack you for no reason, i.e. this past week. For no reason, they just literally turn on you. And then when they've broken you down to nothing, then they'll try to come back and try to, build you up again. Kristen Stewart, anybody? If anybody remembers what happened with Kristen Stewart a few years ago, is how the American work. They can be vicious in destroying as well. And I would not want to see our faves rely on American press. They are not to be trusted at all. Again, not when you have the reach that Harry and Meghan have. So for me, I don't want to belabor the point, but for me, if it's the only mistake I feel like they have made so far, is relying and giving their narrative to the American press. I just think, for me, that is a mistake. You have a big platform. Learn how to use it and use the platform. So you can hire me to do your social media if you want to. Because that mess will not go, So anyways, Cookies and Cream says the mistake the Sussex made is not going after bullies like Punk Moran, and allowing him to disrespect and harass them. They should have hit him with a massive lawsuit. It should send a signal to back off. The thing with that is he's hiding behind the First Amendment rights. He's hiding behind his press pass. So unless he is, done something physical, I don't know, but I think even though it's harassment, we all know what it is. He's been able to get away with it because he's able to hide behind it as opinion of a of a reporter or a journalist. He's been able to hide. How they are going after him, as you know, Harry is in court right now and he's suing the Mirror. Well, Piers Morgan is part of that, and Piers Morgan is who is being exposed right now, even today, I literally wrote a tweet about that. I think his name is Ian Fleming or whatever his name is. During the Leveson trial, he testified that Piers Morgan was telling him about how to hack a voicemail. Today, he testified that he actually apparently used to work at the Mirror as well, and he implicated both Piers Morgan and the guy that we talked about. I think his name is I forgot his name, who is now the editor of the Express, and how Piers Morgan. I think Piers Morgan is the one who either taught him how to hack a voicemail or something like that. And he talked about how Piers Morgan tried to befriend him and how they hacked his, they blagged his information about, I think, some property he was purchasing and all of that stuff. He talked about how Piers Morgan would try to befriend people and then use that and use whatever to then, have his reporters hire out private investigators to hack people. So I think they are going after him in a legal way. Piers Morgan is like a pig. You don't go into a pig pen and wrestle a pig. One, you're going to get dirty, and he's a pig. They love mud. So to wrestle Piers Morgan, going back, cookies and cream is like, definitely massive lawsuit. But again, he's hiding behind the press pass. It's considered opinion, And so now when they have something concrete to go after him, for example, like phone hacking and blagging, that is illegal. And so Scobie testified about it the other day, about Piers Morgan knowing about and asking and knowing that whomever it was got that information from voicemail. Ian, I think his last name is Fleming, testifying again today, even a lot more damaging than what Scobie said about Piers Morgan and about Piers Morgan's responsibility, including during him testifying at the Leveson, that Piers Morgan talked to him and was describing to him how to hack a voicemail. So his testimony today. So I think that is the way that they've decided to go after Piers Morgan, because again, hiding behind the press pass. But hopefully they'll win and they get Piers Morgan, So let's see. Church Nelly says, Petal, I might need you to represent me if I for impersonating a nurse to give a fine Marine a bath. When I was in the hospital, Lord, he was fine. Thank you, Church Nelly, for the laughter. You were in the hospital and you were making trouble. Oh Lord, Church Nelly. that poor Marie didn't know. I love you. You are awesome. I love it. I love it. I love it. TV says, she's talking to Rose Hill, says, I agree there's a lot that has not been said about the chase night. Harry has receipt and we have not seen, and he's keeping it out of the public. Yeah, I mean, people know that because we saw him, there are pictures of him filming whatever. I don't know what footage he has and how much he has, but the fact that they are not saying anything is kind of making people a little bit jittery. It's got, he has some evidence and he's not responding to all the things that you're throwing at him. You have to be thinking, ooh, I wonder what he's doing behind the scenes. Is he filing a lawsuit? Is he, So yeah, very interesting. It'll be very interesting to see if he ever shares the footage of what he saw. Rosal says, NYPD are investigating, but he handed it over to them, but they kept a copy. Truth will be out. Oh, did someone say he said he handed it over to the NYPD? I don't know. This is the first I'm hearing that he did hand it over to the NYPD. I don't know. So I would assume, if the NYPD know, they said there would be an investigation, but I haven't heard. The spokesman came out and sort of minimized the whole thing. And that's the only thing I've heard from the NYPD so far. They have not said a word. So I don't know if there even is still an investigation going on. According to them, nothing happened. Nobody got charged. And it was all a figment of our imagination, it seems, And so, yeah, I don't know. Um, Black Queen says, Church Ann, you do know that your husband watched this podcast, right? Oh, Church Nelly, you in trouble. Your hubby watched the podcast. I know you'll be like, jonesing on a Marie. Oh, Church Nelly. You in trouble, girl. You in trouble, girl. um Sylvia Dixon, hello, Sylvia. Sylvia says, cookies and cream, P. Morum is everywhere lying on Meghan. I read a text from a site where his wife said earlier this year that he was in California looking for H&M. I think his time is coming legally. He is a stalker. And I think that's one of the things that we've talked about it here so many times. It's like Piers Morgan is a stalker hiding behind a press pass. And the things about with stalkers is that they escalate. You don't do anything about it, they keep escalating and keep escalating until something happens. Piers Morgan is an out of control stalker. And so that's all I'm going to say. And, it's so funny. Today I tweeted about this. I'm like, those people, going back to his phone hacking and stuff, all of those people who are on his show and some of those who are cozying up to him, my thing is like, are they even sure that there's whatever, private information that they have given to his show, that is safe? Are they sure that, the whatever private phone number they gave to that show is their information? Because they use your phone number, they can call up your, that's how they hack. And Black, they can call up your phone company to see your records, to see who you've called, how long you've called, how many times you've called a person. They could, they do, that's what they do. Do you know that, he hasn't checked your medical records? Do you know that he has not hacked your phone? That's the thing. And I tweeted about that, in The Guardian put out an article again with this Ian guy who was on the stand today with the same thing, talking about how Piers Morgan cozies up to people. So, which is what he did to him, tried to act like he's a friend and then conduct his people to go hack and black him. And so that's why I tweeted that, with that article today. I'm like, are they even sure that their information is safe? The information that you gave his show, say that you're that you're getting direct deposit or something, you have to give your bank account. Your bank account, are they even sure that that's safe? That's not being used against them. Are they sure that their private phone numbers or whatever personal contact they gave to that show before they go on that show, are they even sure that that's safe? Do they have their private addresses on those things? All of those things, people like Piers Morgan, when they worked at the Mirror, they would use to hack Black people, go and put listening devices in people's cars, in their homes. People have had break-ins into their homes. This is what they do. Are these people who are on his shows, cozy up to him on his shows, are they sure that their stuff is safe? And so that's all I'm going to say on that. A leopard don't change his spots, that's for sure. I certainly, and that's why I'm so happy Harry was like, with Meghan, is like, no. That man is, no. We are not having anything, and he's been bitter ever since, because I'm sure he thought he was going to get an invite to the wedding and he didn't get one. He's been bitter ever since. They will not allow him. And again, Piers Morgan is a narcissist. What does a narcissist need? Attention. That's what he feeds on, attention. And when you don't answer him, eventually he will, maybe not, but he's one of those. But you can't respond to them, because all he's doing is to get Meghan's attention. He knows from past history, by doing exactly what he's doing, abuse, people like Ariana Grande, people like I forgot what her name, the pop singer, they've all caved and then went on his show and did interviews with him after he abused them. So he already knows that pattern exists where these entertainers would cave and come and sit down with him, which is what he wants. And this is what he's doing. He's hoping that he can abuse Meghan into submission, where she comes and sits on his shows and have a conversation with him for ratings. This is all this is about. Unbelievable. Thank you, Leslie. Yes, Ian Fleming. Thank you very much. I wasn't sure I was correct with his last name. Thank you. But it's unbelievable. R. Smith says, Pelly, you're right. The problem is is that some in the post will feed the UK beast. American press is lazy, incredibly lazy. Incredibly lazy American press. Nothing is worse than always hiring rotor rats for UK commentary. The laziness in American press is so despicable. There, and especially lately, because they were so used to getting Donald Trump's mess and constantly feeding them drama. Now all of a sudden they're not getting the same drama anymore, and they're just looking for any story, any lie or misinformation or whatever, so they can get clicks. They refuse to do investigative work. They refuse to do it, and it's just laziness all around. It is so gross. It is so, I mean, if you doubt anything, just look at the reporting for what happened last Tuesday with Harry and Meghan by some in the American press. And oddly enough, and again, I have always been down on Max Foster but oddly enough, one of the only outlets that got their coverage right and refused to, it seemed, at least the articles that I've read, maybe they have others that didn't, the articles that I've read from CNN refuse to put in the bogus nonsense from the taxi driver and all of his many different, twisting of his story and all of that stuff. They refuse to put in a lot of that nonsense and just stuck to the facts that they know. And it's just like, amazingly enough, I'm like, well, yeah, I got to give Max Foster his props, because at least he was, he contacted the source, got the information, and reported correctly. So kudos to him. Again, you know where I am with Max Foster. He's always was like, dude, we were very down on him, but this one he got right. But American press is extremely lazy. If it's not sensational, if it's not whatever, it's like they will destroy it, because all of a sudden it's like, oh, it's not feeding me. It's all about them. Amazing. Let's see. Leslie says, some big people testified yesterday and today, and you will not believe who jumped ship and testified for Harry yesterday. Wait, did I miss somebody? Who, Leslie? Who testified yesterday? Oh, were you talking about Ian Fleming? I saw who did I miss someone from yesterday? I could have. So do tell, Leslie. Do tell. Let's see. Anne Louise says Pia must have allegedly receipts on powerful people who have gotten away with so much for so long. Shady. Yeah, yeah. I will post a link to the article from the testimony, and so that way you can read it, because it's very, very damaging to Piers Morgan, and I hope that people pay attention and that this stuff takes him down, because he swore up and down that he never did. Even recently he did an interview, I think, with the BBC. Swear up and down he never hacked. He didn't know how to hack. He never directed anybody to hack. Lies. That's what he does. He lies and lies and lies and lies. And again, he's one of those Rupert Murdoch people. You keep telling the same lie over and over and over again, it starts implanting itself into people's mind as truth. And he is, again, a master of it. Let's see. Someone was saying something about Sylvia says, Pedro, remember when we sent letters and emails to CNN about his lies? Tina and Michelle was not having it. Yeah, I very much remember that. I remember our thread. Oh my gosh, there was this thread, this long thread about all of the points that Max Foster lied about. And we sent in photos, news clippings, videos. I mean, they took down that video very quickly because we were just not having it. after the Oprah Winfrey interview, that was a very long thread of pushing back on all his lies, because his article, he did this video supposedly correcting the lies or exposing the lies of Harry and Meghan from the Oprah interview. And all of it was lies, misinformed. I mean, and we just went after him. And CNN took down this video because it was like we had evidence, we had receipts. So I will never forget that. That was a beauty. Yep, Tina and Michelle were at the forefront of that one. I miss Tina and Michelle. Every now and then, Tina pops on Twitter. Um, let's see. GIF. Oh, Chiposifo. Oh, I hope I've said that right. Hello, how are you? She's like, Pedal, keep pushing back. Oh, keep pushing back. Put the truth out there in the universe. If you give up, lies will spread and stick you. Our historian, you are a historian in the making. You are honest, intelligent. Oh my goodness, wise, detailed, document that truth. Oh, well, thank you so much. I try. I mean, I'm all about wanting to know the truth and speaking the truth. And if there's something that's not the truth, I hope y'all correct it and help me to, and help all of us in our community to be speaking the truth, believing the truth, spreading the truth. So yes, thank you so much. I appreciate that gift. It's very encouraging. Let's see. What else do I have? Let's just see what else I have here for a second. Hang on. 1 second. I'm so happy I'm hanging out with you guys. Oh, wow. I'm just looking. 433 of my favorite, 37 of my favorite people are here. Hi, guys. Welcome, welcome. Let's see what else is here. Kaboom! Oh, you guys, we are at $81,611. We are so getting to 100,000. And this is so special. Kaboom posted this today. Here's a special message from Kaboom CEO Lystra Ratliff to the Sussex Squad members who have supported our mission and to end space inequity. Thank you for helping us to ensure every kid has a space to play. And there is also this. There is this. So hang on 1 second. There is this.
Hi, I'm Lisa Ratliff. I'm the CEO of Kaboom. We are a national nonprofit that is on a mission to end place-based inequity for good. And I just wanted to send out a very heartfelt thanks to the Sussex Squad. You have captured our hearts and blown us away by how your community has mobilized around the world for our kids. You have raised collectively over $80,000 this month, and we just couldn't be more grateful for you and all that you do just to put your hearts into action and to support organizations like us who are living and breathing change for our kids and our future generation. Thank you so much for being part of our mission.
So I hope it was a little low on my end. So I hope you heard it. So I hope it was loud enough. It came from my end a little bit low on my headset. So I don't know, but so that was a video they posted on Twitter today, thanking the Sussex Squad. I mean, it's so amazing. Yeah, 20,000, just under 20,000 to get to 100,000. So they are so grateful, and they're all up in the the fundraiser. Again, as they posted, someone was asking, they were saying that they heard that only 10% go to Kaboom, and Kaboom promptly responded like, nope, in this fundraiser 100% of the funds raised go to Kaboom so that they can end place-based inequity. And so it just it's so I hope that you guys heard it was loud enough for you. It was a little low on my end, but hopefully it's loud enough for you. So yes, Kaboom. Yeah, thank you, Kaboom, for recognizing the work that the squad is doing. I mean, hello. This is awesome. This is absolutely awesome. I'm proud of us too. It's such a great work. I mean, talk about service is universal. I saw a tweet today. The tweet was like, Harry and Meghan are millionaires. Why can't they just send all the money to this place? Why are people sending, regular people sending their money to them? And a squatty was quote tweeted it. She's like, wow, this one really doesn't understand service is universal. And that's the thing, derangers, as they call those crazy ones who hate the Sussexes and supposedly love the Cambridges, but never really post about them. They just spend their time hating Meghan. They try so many times to do fundraisers and it goes nowhere. So they can't understand how the Sussex Squad is able to raise all this funds. It's just like a mystery to them. And it's like, well, we do it out of love. Y'all are just hating people. So there you go. Y'all on here just hating. So, that's what you do. We actually love people. And the reason we're here is that we love the Sussexes. We are inspired by them and the work that they're doing. And we just respond and we support organizations that they support. And, what are those in Shutter Island doing? Have they inspired you to do something? Maybe go to their website or something and see what organizations that they're working on. I don't care. Look, you're helping, I don't care, with your hate and all that stuff. If you go to their website and see if there's any organizations there that they're supporting, and go support the organization. Go do something good in the world instead of staying on Twitter hating people that you don't know. So, unbelievable. So yes, I am proud of us and the work we do. Sylvia says, I feel Tina might still been with us for a while, but Michelle felt H&M was moving on to the US and would not need all the support. Tina did feel we had to be on guard in the US press. She was right. Oh yeah. I mean, we were all like, we know that it's not as the UK press literally just go and make up stuff. They make news and then report the news as facts, as Harry said. US press is a little more, say, journalistic than that, and then the US press, tabloids are tabloids. There's a clear line between tabloids and mainstream press. In the UK, tabloids is the mainstream press, and absolutely the tabloids are the most popular of the mainstream. So a lot of the so-called mainstream press in the UK follow the lead of the tabloids, and a lot of them are just afraid of the tabloids. And so they will cave if the tabloids come after them, they will cave. Not so in the US. Again, it's a very, very clear line. The Hollywood Lives of the world will not end up on mainstream television, although we have a Fox, but Fox is not news. Fox is opinion and lies and misinformation. Is not legit news. You know what I mean? And so there is a line there. The UK has no line. And so, but even with that, we are seeing the laziness of the American press, especially one that had 4 years of Donald Trump, who gave them daily drama. Now they don't have daily drama from the Donald Trump. So they just, instead of going out and actually literally, and this is not for everyone. There are some of them that are journalists and they do their job and they go out and they research and they do. But a lot of them now are just in for the click. They're just in for a soundbite that could, be a clickbait to give them clicks and likes. And that's what they are. News outlets, the same thing. What would get us some quick likes and what will get us some quick retweets and all of that stuff. And they're not doing the research that's needed, the journalistic research that's needed to actually report a story accurately. And so, the laziness is just, it's mind-blowing how lazy America, especially, those where, for example, they have more morning shows or talk shows or whatever. It's like they have a soundbite, the producer gave them a little, a little thing about a little, clip or a little soundbite or something from a news, and instead of going and researching around it and finding out, the what's, the whys, all of that stuff about the story. They come and they focus on that little thing and miss everything else around it. And a lot of time they misinform people, i.e. The View. And so it's very, very frustrating. That's why I can't watch, and I've blocked a lot of them because I would just get too frustrated. I get too frustrated, and I try to stick to more independent news that have a little bit more, accuracy, and they're a little bit more nuanced. At least it's like it's not this black and white thing, but they get to the meat and potatoes of things, and it's not just this thing that they're throwing out there for a click. And so, yeah, it's very, 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 it's very frustrating. And so, like, you know, and so that for me, that's it's so funny. I was talking to my friend yesterday. We had one of these sitting by the water, heart to heart. Hi, Ashley, my heart. My friend, we were hanging out, and it was just like we were talking about this yesterday. It's like, oh, I wish I was a reporter, But I think that's what I'm like, that's what I need to, instead of complaining. I think that's the thing I'm going to be working on. Is like, okay, how can I build this platform to be a bigger news source of accurate information? Because as the squad, this is who we are. We're about receipts. We want facts. We want the receipts of stuff. We don't want to just be throwing things out there without the facts. And so how can we get all of these? I mean, we have this platform, we have the Duchess of Success, we have Baron, we have all these other platforms out there that are doing. And how can we get this to be a bigger voice and have a bigger state, or bigger, I don't know what, I can't think of the word right now, but the goal is to get more people watching us. And for me, it's like to get to Baron level. I mean, Baron is amazing. And and it's just like, okay, we're using Baron as my example of, okay, how to build a platform and how to get the word out there. It's like, I just want people to hear the truth, and that's my thing. And so, yeah, that's my little spiel. But Diana says, "Pero please don't give up the platform. We need you." Aw, you do an amazing job every time. Thank you so much, Diana. I'm not giving up the platform. I'm not giving up. I think, whether it's Harry and Meghan, and then incorporating other things into it as well. But no, I'm not going to give up the platform because I'm too passionate about. And especially for me, I just think when you see so much misinformation and it's a lie, it's kind of like it's hard to just stay silent and not speak the truth. Oh my gosh, I thought I was going to lose my job the other day. Someone here mentioned about having to, I think they said that they were having to stand up for Harry and Meghan to some people, and it had not happened to me in just regular New York, whatever. And this person was standing next to me, and they were spouting all these lies to their parents, and I had to jump in and correct it. And I was like, oh, I'm gonna lose this project because I just did that. But it was just like, I couldn't not speak up. I'm like, what you're saying is not true, right? It's like, what do you mean? I'm like, but that's not true what you're saying. And so but then turned out had a great conversation with her and her parents, and telling them the truth about the press and how things are, so it was a great thing. But for me, this is the way I feel. It's like, when you hear people just telling lies and the truth, it's hard to stay silent. It's hard to not speak up and speak the truth. So let me stop talking and see what you guys are saying. Sorry. Just sort of went on a blabble there. Treasure says, I need my pics of New York. Oh, which pics are those? Which pics are you asking? Which pics you don't have or that you need? Let me know. Oh, wait. I just jumped. Bisani, where are you there? Pedal, I thought you were looking into being a reporter for the I am. I'm still waiting to find out if I could get a press pass. I am. And trying different means to figure out how to get a press pass. I am trying. Yes, I'm not giving that up. I desperately want to be one. Or at least, have an official press pass. Yes, I have not given that up. Thank you. Let's see. Um, Rosehill says, be careful of headlines. They can sound pro Sussex, but the article full of snot. Very, very true, i.e., the cut article. Very, very, very true. And some of them so carefully worded that if you're not, especially if you're not American and you don't know or don't understand the way they say things to needle a person, yeah, you can totally miss it and think it's a positive article. Yeah, very, 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 very true. um let's see. um let's see. Charlie Stacey says the mental gymnastics of these naysayers' disgusting behavior is not worth it to even analyze their reason to protect their kind. These nut jobs are beyond logical facts presented in their orbits. Not sure who you're speaking about specifically, so do tell, Charlie Stacey. Do tell. Thank you. Let's see. Um, Anne Louis says David Beckham started out from humble beginnings and can identify with some of the struggles. You are not always accepted at the top, but tolerated. That's very true. Very, very true. Especially if you have a lot of money. Yeah, definitely true. Lydia, you will get there. Oh, pedal, no doubt. Thank you so much, Lydia. Thank you for your thank you for the vote of confidence and the encouragement. I appreciate it. But yeah, I really want to be a legit journalist. Which is what I really want, to be an investigative journalist, because that's what I love. I love knowing. I'm very nosy when it comes to things. I want to know everything. I am a details person in that way. Probably the only thing I'm a details person in, but I want to know everything. And so yeah, that's what I'd like to be, an investigative journalist. Let's see. Sylvia said I got angry with Kevin on Oh no, not that Kevin. That is it. That Kevin, black guy Kevin. I forgot his last name. Ugh, is angry with Kevin on Entertainment Tonight, gleefully reporting the tabloid lie about Harry supposedly having. Oh God. By the end, he did say the Sussex's spokesman denied. Yeah, I can't even. I'm telling you, it just. Oh. Yeah. Yes. This is why we need larger platforms. Let's see. Leslie. Leslie says, and the tabloids are not reporting on David Beckham's testimony as of right now because it must have been juicy. I saw only one sentence about it. I had to dig to validate it. Wait a minute. Did you know more about? I'm actually gonna put the Leslie. Can you call in? And if you know more about it, I didn't even realize, I somehow missed that David Beckham testified. Let me put the link in the show notes. If you can call in and tell me all that you know, that would be so awesome. So Leslie F. call in, our reporter or legal reporter from the trial. So Leslie, the link is in the show notes. If you can call me if you have information about David Beckham's testimony. I had no idea. So, or any other information about that, please do call in and let me know. Let's see. Rhonda says exactly, they never fact check, dump, and they're trying to do it again. Yep. It's like, just Google, it's free, just fact check something, or go on Twitter, type it in, you'll see. If it's something, especially about the Sussexes, chances are the squad is talking about it, especially, if it's, positive or stuff. And even sometimes the negative stuff, people post links and you're like, oh, why? Oh, Leslie, there we go. Hey, Leslie.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, I can, my love. Thank you so
If
much.
oh yeah, if I tune out, it's because it's thunderstorming here in Florida.
Oh
But anyways, so if
no.
I lose you, but just so here's the juicy part. So I had to validate it. I actually had to call my friend who had to actually contact somebody else that
Mm.
she lives in the UK to validate it that he was on the witness list yesterday, and sure he was. So
Wow.
remember, David Beckham, remember he flew all the way, remember from the FIFA um finals to
Oh
Boston
yeah, to
to
Boston,
meet,
to William
yeah,
and Kate's
be
thing.
with
Yeah.
Nate thing. Remember?
Yep.
And he
Hmm.
was like some kind of ambassador. He thought it was a great thing. Well, he was in court. Yes, late Friday they announced that he was going to be on the witnesses, which shocked what from what I heard is shocked the other side, the mayor. So to yesterday he testified. Yesterday he unsealed. So he had done a settlement with the mayor a while back. So he chose to unseal his settlement and testify as to the reasonings behind what the settlement was, what the hacking was, and everything else. Now, the details of what he testified to, I don't know yet. I say
Okay.
yet because I'm still waiting because I filed an XF 714 for the with the high court from
Hmm.
here to request daily transcripts. So I'm hoping that I get approved. They said it could take 7 to 10 days. It's been
Oh,
about 8 days. Um, but I hope I get approved, because I could be denied because I'm not a UK citizen because
right, right, right.
this is
Yeah.
a public opening. But if I get denied, my friend who is a UK citizen, she's gonna file for it, and then she'll just forward me the transcripts. So
Oh,
that's
okay.
gonna be
Oh
our
my
workaround.
gosh, I hope she
So
does. I gotta go.
so
I gotta go and look at. How did I miss David Beckham understand?
because
I
I'm
didn't
telling
even
you,
know
I
that.
only saw it in one spot. And I was like, when I saw that, and it was one sentence. David Beckham was on the witness stand yesterday and gave testimony of his and gave testimony to his settlement agreement. And I was like, wait,
Wow.
what? So I had to dig more. I had to actually go out of the tabloid. So some of the places I dig for further information is Financial Times, like
Hmm.
in the financial area,
Right.
because a lot of these, especially if they're high profile, they own stocks and they own other businesses.
Hmm.
So of course, if their name is mentioned that they testified, then if they own a business or something people have stocks or whatever, combine it. Sometimes the Financial Times will, say, oh, there was a drop in this person's stock because they testified in the high court. Da 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 da.
Oh
That's
wow.
how I
Right.
find out. That's how I found out about the Greason last week that I reported on, had
Hmm.
testified because he was actually an investor that wanted to invest, and he was the one that testified against the board member, the chairman of the board, that he had told him about the phone hacking, and that's
Right.
why he did before he invested in the company, then chose not to invest because he was
Mm.
vetting. So that's what I'm saying. But I got that from financial
Financial
sections of
Times.
different news.
Wow.
Yes. So I dig all over. When I see a little thing, I'm like, ooh, I start digging. And I use a couple different websites. And there's a couple ways. I don't know if a lot of people know, you can manipulate Google search. So like, let's say, so when you do a regular Google search, right?
Hmm.
It's only going to pull up stuff in the last 18 months. So a
Oh,
year to
I
year and a
didn't know
half.
that.
So you can go, let's say you want to find an article on Meghan Markle from 2008. When
Uh-huh.
you go to your Google, up in the right hand corners, there's three dots. You can change the search time. Let's say, and you can be specific. You can say, I
Oh,
want to search
that's
articles
why I
of,
couldn't find stuff.
yep. So you can go, I want to search Meghan Markle from January 1st, 2008 to February 1st, 2008, and then it'll tell you like how many times she came up, all the articles that were written about her, or if there was any, and stuff like that. So you can, yeah, there's a whole bunch of stuff, because just like you like investigative, I love research, even though that is not.
Right.
So I love research.
That's
So
such a
I now
great
have
tip.
all these
See,
things.
that's my thing
Yeah,
I learned today.
I love digging. There's even two websites I use that
Hmm.
you can. So let's say okay, let me give you an example. And I try. I'm gonna try. I was asking you yesterday if you had an email because I wanted to be able to email you stuff. So if you can text me here in the chat your email,
Oh,
then I'm gonna pull
absolutely.
some stuff up and I can email you stuff. So when you this happens to everyone. When they go, let me give you an example. So let's say the article that the Mirror wrote the other day and then pulled down.
Hmm.
So you know how you click on it, it's no longer there, right?
Right.
Yeah, no. I have a way that I can pull that URL, and I use two other websites that I can use, and if it was on the internet, I'll find it,
Right. Oh,
even
cool.
though
I
the
mean,
link
do
is
you do a
disabled
lot of
now.
like, do you do the archive as well? Because a lot of those articles that go away I could find in archives.
Oh yeah. I even still use Bing, and I still use old AOL.
Hmm.
You can still use OL. There's another website that I use. It's the archives of AOL from back in the day, 1990s
Oh.
and stuff like that. Yep. You know what? I think I should just come up to New York next week, because I was planning on coming up to you, and me and you should get together and we should do our own investigation. Go down to the theater, look around at the businesses, see how many cameras are around, take pictures of that, street cameras, ask the businesses if the police have contacted them, and just do our own investigative reporting and put our own little amateur detective success squad video together.
I just put my email in the chat. Email me.
Um, okay. Oh,
Yeah,
in this chat or
email
the
me.
chat? Okay,
Yeah,
I will.
it's in the
But
chat right
yeah,
now. Facts and 2 cents at
okay.
Gmail. So anybody who wants to email me, that's my email there. So you can
So
definitely email me
I'll put
anytime.
my name in the subject matter because my email is
Yeah. So
different than
okay,
my
yeah,
name.
definitely put your name
So,
there so that I know
but yeah,
who you
and then there
are.
was also they interviewed there was, I think, one article. I think you might have mentioned it yesterday. Sly, I forget her last name. Her first name was Sly. She was the head of the Mirror
Hmm.
after
Hmm.
Pierce Morgan. I do have sections of her testimony. That I do have. And some of her stuff, I mean, she just played like a dumb potato. Like
Is
that's
she the one that was saying that nobody told her about phone hacking?
yeah.
That I mean, it's so
Yeah, that she
impossible to
didn't
believe.
know.
Lies.
That she didn't know. I'm like, and Harry's, I had the actual testimony difference. Like like how could you be the head of something and not know how these people, you really think that they were getting it from friends and family?
Well, that's the same thing Pierce Morgan said. Pierce Morgan
Mm-hmm.
said the same thing, that he didn't know, he never directed, he never. It's
Uh-huh.
just like seriously, and this is
Listen.
exactly what In Family was saying today. It is
Mm-hmm.
impossible because for somebody that hands on, as it's exactly what Scobie said in his testimony, because Pierce Morgan is very hands on. And so Ian
Mm-hmm.
Fleming was saying, it's impossible that Pierce Morgan didn't know because he was so hands on with the articles that was going out from the Mirror.
And guess who else testified last week that nobody really mentioned? He was on the witness list. That I got from my friend, but I'm also waiting to see if I can get transcripts. Last year, UK, the Yahoo's UK division reporter. There
Really?
was nothing about them, and Yahoo always like posts other people's articles.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it was Yahoo's UK executive reporter from that time frame testified on behalf of Harry on how they got their
Wow.
information from the Mirror. Oh yeah, that's what I'm saying. They're being selective of what they're putting out there. That's why I'm hoping to get transcripts. I was like, wait, what? That
Wow.
wasn't on
Yeah, I
there.
didn't see any reporting about that at all.
You got to dig. I dig every day. I supposed to get up in the morning and start digging. Like by the time it's like 10 o'clock our time here on the East Coast, it's like their morning session is done and they're back from lunch and they're in the afternoon session.
Right, of
So then I
course.
start
Yeah.
reading up what's in the morning session. And so then what I do is in the places that I dig, I start, the first thing I try to get is a witness list, like who were the
Hmm.
witnesses, and then I search who that person was and how they could be connected or what their background is and
Right,
what,
right.
and it does tell me like which side they testify for. So basically, so far, what happened yesterday in court after David Beckham and everything else, basically, the executive Sly, that I said she was on the stand yesterday. Basically, her testimony. This is how the mayor rebutted it. We've already admitted our wrongdoing, but that was in the past. And we haven't, and we've changed our ways and we're not the same company as we were back then. That's basically their argument. Like that's the defense that they're
that's
taking.
exactly they pulled that same one at the beginning as well.
Mm-hmm.
Before then, they had to admit that the couple of things they apologized to Harry about,
Mm-hmm.
and it's like, yeah, we did wrong, so we
Mm-hmm.
should pay you this, but we're not. It's just
Mm-hmm.
like, no, you haven't
Yep.
dealt with a lot of this stuff.
Also, I found out in the financial section too, that, and I'll get confirmation, but this is just a little bit of tea out there. Someone submitted, which is what I had said on Barron's podcast like 2 weeks ago. Somebody submitted a copy in their testimony. Part of their copy was their personal expenses for the mayor, so that they knew that the mayor was hacking. So you signed off on these private investigators. Here's an expense sheet that I submitted and Pierce Morgan signed off on, and I got reimbursed for.
Wow.
One of the private investigators. I'm telling you something.
Was that part of Graham Johnson's testimony? Because
I think it might. Yeah, I think that might have been his testimony.
Yeah.
But I'm going to get confirmation, because this is all just coming off my head, because I have some stuff written down, but I want to confirm everything. But yeah, I want to know. So that's all. So basically, David Beckham chose. So apparently in the UK, it's different than here. Or maybe his time expired. You know how we have a gag order, or if you settle, it's like a non-disclosure. You can't speak about the terms or whatever.
Right, yeah.
So I don't know if it expired, or if in the UK, the party that's settling can choose then to speak about it if they so choose to. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so he unsealed his records.
Wow.
And spoke in detail about what he settled for, mm-hmm. what the mayor admitted to in his settlement, and everything on his hacking. So yeah.
Wow,
that's got to be juicy. So I'm thinking
very juicy.
So I'm like,
that is very juicy. Thank you.
And then that just keeps me going. That's just like, oh my gosh, what else? But yeah.
See, that's why you are our legal expert.
No, I have no legal training, no background. This is all research. This is just all research and just quoting other articles that have been written, mm-hmm. and everything else. I don't know if you saw also that the Mirror posted, I don't know if it was yesterday or today, that Katie Holmes, the models, had paid for 35 Metro police officers to work for when she went to get married in Gloucester. And she paid for them to protect and close off 2 miles around the church when she got married. She paid out of pocket.
Katie Holmes?
Kate Moss. Kate Moss.
Oh,
yeah.
No, we've talked about that before. Yeah.
Yeah.
Kate Moss, she did it. And also the former prime minister, oh gosh, why do I never remember this man's name?
Tony Blair?
Thank you. Tony Blair. That's how Tony Blair works with the police. They protect him and then he reimburses. Literally today I was reading an article from the Telegraph writing about Tony Blair doing exactly what Harry, the court turned down Harry for.
And
that's what Tony Blair does. And so they were saying that there's no precedent for it. I'm like, but Tony Blair does it. That is precedent. That's how he works with the police. He reimburses them when they work for him. Mm-hmm. When they, he does stuff and they protect him.
And here's my thing. And this is my theory, and this is alleged, my personal opinion, my theory. I honestly don't think that Harry wants 30 or 40 Metro police officers with guns. Knowing Harry and knowing how their personal fears, I mean, not knowing him personally, knowing what I know from the tabloids and his personal fears, I would think that he would want maybe 1, 3, maybe 4 armed, police officers from the UK to work in support with his own personal security team, because that's all they would need. I mean, his security team is already well in place. It's just the problem is that the security, he has to have 2 security teams because the security teams here in the U.S. have no jurisdiction in the UK.
Right, and they don't,
and vice versa.
And they're not privy to the intel that they have.
Intel information.
When it comes to threats on their lives, and so Harry's security needs that intel that the police or home office that they have, to basically alert them of any and all threats in the UK that will come against his family. So that's what Harry also wants, as well.
Mm-hmm. And also he wasn't, offering to pay not only for Metro Police, he also had offered to hire his own and pay for his own security from Scotland Yards. So
Mm,
even if Metro Police could just do the armed security, the
right.
background checks, he wanted to work with Scotland Yards
Or
and
just
pay
allow
for it.
his security to carry guns. I mean, I am not here advocating guns,
Right,
but have his security be armed. That's all they need to do. If you don't want him to pay for it, then just give him approval for his
right.
security to be armed.
And you
That's
know
all they
how,
need to do.
and you know how it's not a big like rigmarole to get authorization. Basically, they just have to go to the local, like let's say the London police chief, and they would have to do an interview,
Mm,
submit forms, and show that they are of good sound mind and not a threat to the public, and they could
right.
get uh, authority to have a firearm. And actually, Harry already has that because for the rifles and stuff, when they do their duck shooting and everything, they all have to have their um
Permits and stuff.
permits and stuff, but
Mm,
it's just to carry.
right.
And
Yeah.
so,
Carry
and like I
in the
said, I
public.
don't think that he's gonna have like 35 Metro
No,
policemen.
no,
I
of
think
course
he
not.
would,
Of
it
course
would be
not.
like
Yeah.
1 to 4, and that way they could do 8-hour shifts, and he could have one armed guard, one armed Metro police with his 6
With
security
his
team. You know what
security.
I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
Yep. I mean, it's not gonna be that thing. And then the other thing, another route that I feel, in my opinion, he could do is Chris Sanchez could use his channels from when he worked Secret Service here in the United States
Exactly. It's
to see if he can get
before. Yeah,
authorization
yeah,
with
yeah.
Scotland Yards. They didn't even want him to do that. Like they didn't want to allow him to do that. So that's why I'm thinking like, okay, these people are ridiculous because I like as you've been stating, he doesn't want to use the whole so that the royal family knows all of his business.
Exactly.
He just wants a couple of armed guards. That's it, you know? And one thing that these tabloids and people outside of the United States are not putting into content with the chase here in New
Mm.
York and why they kept going, everybody goes, oh, why didn't they just stop at a hotel? Why didn't they say because there's guns here in the United States.
I
You don't
shut up.
know, they don't know. Like I wouldn't have stopped. I would have been fearful. What if that wasn't paparazzis? What if it was a hired gang
Well, that is
to kidnap
exactly
them?
what Chris
To
and the other guy was saying is that they weren't really taking a lot of pictures. And so he was saying it seems like they were following them for another reason. His determination he was that they were following him so that they would know where they're staying so they could come back and scope out the place so they can get more invasive photos. But they don't really know that exactly because that's
right.
one of the things he was saying. They weren't taking as
They didn't
many
know who they
photos
were.
as you would think a paparazzi would be clicking away.
Exactly. And the other thing is that maybe the listeners don't know, because I used to live in New York. I was born in Brooklyn. I used to live in Long Island. So those apartments on the Upper East Side are as huge as a house.
Oh
Some
yeah.
of them are the whole floor.
Oh yeah.
So
It's
even though
or
they
sometimes
were
two.
saying, too, right. So even though they were staying at a friend's place, that doesn't necessarily mean that the friend wasn't there with her family and her kids. You know what I
Right.
mean? So they could have very well been watching Archie and Lily for them for that night. And whoever it was, let's say it was Gwyneth Paltrow, because I know she lives in New York too. Let's say it's Gwyneth Paltrow. She has her kids too. She's
Hmm.
got 2 kids too, Apple and Moses. So they might have been home too. That's why you don't go back to your residence.
I mean, people were saying some of the stupidest things like, "Oh, they should have pulled into a parking lot,"
And
and
yeah,
I'm
and
like,
the
"Pull into a
Well, and see,
parking lot
that's the
with
thing. A
trapped
parking garage is
underground
not
in a
gonna,
parking
yeah,
lot?
is
Are you
not
crazy?"
exactly. It's not gonna stop anybody going to park. I could only say I know of 3, no, 2 big hotels in Manhattan that have their own private parking garage where you
Mm,
need a key card to go in. All the other ones use the corner parking garage because there's one on every corner. So if you're
mhm,
staying at the Hilton downtown or the Marriott Court in Manhattan, the
mm.
parking garage is 2 blocks down. I mean, you can valet it and they'll take it and they'll give you a ticket. You get a discount it for parking it there. But it's not like, other cities and stuff like where, like here in Orlando, when you pull into the parking garage, it seals, you know what I mean? It's not like that. So
Right.
to why would they pull into an underground parking lot? They don't know who they, they could have been pigeonholed to pull in there. You don't know what's going to happen
Exactly. That's the one
when
thing
it's
you
going to
don't want
happen.
to be
Yeah,
doing. So you're not stuck down
exactly.
there.
Now, I would say for future, if anything like that happens, the best thing would be like to stop at the the Waldorf Astoria, because you know how the
Hmm.
parking is right there on Fifth Avenue,
Hmm.
by Central Park. Pull into the Valley, they get out and go into the lobby because the paparazzis wouldn't be able to rush in there. And then
Mm.
you know,
Well,
and
they
the
did. I mean,
Waldorf is
they pulled into
huge,
the 19th precinct, and so, but it's so
right?
funny. There is a video of them when they were leaving in the cab. Instead of the police staying with them, the police went off in a different direction. Maybe they were
Yeah,
thinking, let's do a decoy thing, but that didn't
yeah.
work because
Oh,
the
and
paparazzi saw them pulling away in a different direction.
by the
There were
way,
even
I
videos saying,
saw,
"Oh, they went the other
yeah.
way."
Yep.
It's like,
I
oh
saw a
God.
video. I saw another video. It was not a garbage truck that blocked the road. It was somebody pushing a dumpster.
Oh,
And so like they were pushing a dumpster and they got into the middle of the road and blocked the road with a giant dumpster.
oh,
Because in another video I saw, when the police came on, the PA system was like, move, move, move. And then the dude on the scooter was on the sidewalk passing. You can see the person standing, it looked like from a restaurant or something, with the dumpster, and one of Harry's security goes so fast, I had to slow it down. It goes so
mm,
fast. And I was like, that wasn't garbage. So, in New York, people don't realize, I mean, even in Pennsylvania, even here in Orlando, if you're at a red light and all of a sudden people start coming in the car, you don't stand there through the red light. You go, because you don't know if there's a gang fight going on, if there's going to be a
right,
shooting,
right,
could be
right,
two rival gangs, and you could be caught in the middle of it. You go. You don't stop and stand there and chill out or sit or whatever.
right.
No. So like, I think sometimes the people in the UK don't understand um the high level of intensity that we have here, because there are guns everywhere.
Right. So
like
exactly.
like our reaction is way different. It's extreme, you
Yeah.
know
Yeah.
and stuff, over, I mean, it happened to me when I was in London last summer. I was sitting outside of my hotel in the outside patio, and there was construction going on up the road. Well, I think it was like a nail gun, and it sounded like gunshots. Ta, 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 ta. Yeah, I jumped off my seat, jumped down on the thing, was under the table, and all the other people
We
at
just
the
started
restaurant,
looking at you like
they
you're
just, yeah,
crazy.
they're from the hotel. They're like, what is wrong? Are you okay? And I was like, I thought that was gunshots. They were like, why would there be gunshots? People are not allowed to carry guns here. I
Right.
was like, what was, and they, I mean, of course we laughed at it, but for a moment that I was, and then it was funny. I mean, I looked like the idiot, but I'm
Right.
like, they were like, oh, you must be
I mean, that's
American.
our reality here. That's definitely our reality here.
Exactly.
Well, Leslie, I gotta go.
Yes.
Unfortunately, I gotta wrap this shortly.
I
But
will pull all
please
this
email
together
me so we
and I
can
will
chat
send you
about,
an email
doing some
tomorrow.
investigations here in New York.
Yes, I will put together what I find, more stuff that I dig. There were a couple other star people. I don't have enough information as to who they were that testified on behalf of Harry yesterday and
Right.
today, but I'll pull it all together and I'll send you an email list. I'll
Yes.
make it look like a police log, like what they did is in that way, so you know. But David
Awesome.
Beckham was
Thank
the
you
huge
so
one.
much.
You're welcome. Thank you, squaddies. And be blessed. Think
Okay,
of
my
happy
love.
thoughts.
So I'll
Think of
be looking
happy
out for your
thoughts,
email.
everybody. Memorial Day is coming up this weekend for us here in the United States. It's a good extra day off, a nice beach day. So, all be blessed, and may God bless you all, keep you safe and
Thank you,
healthy
my
and
love.
whole.
Thank you,
All right.
Leslie.
You're welcome.
Bye.
Bye.
Hey Karen, how are you, my dear?
Hi, how you doing?
I am good. I'm like you'll be my last person because we're oh wait. Oh, okay. I'm just like I thought I lost you there for a second.
No, no, no. I'm here. I'm here.
Okay. So you'll be
I'm,
the last person because we're ending shortly, but I'm like, oh,
yeah,
Karen is here. Let's hear what Karen has to
I
say.
know, not a problem. Yeah, I wasn't gonna come, but I put some things in the messages. But I was
Oh,
just
okay.
sitting here listening to you, and it's so good today. It's the stuff that you have there, and the investigation that you did, and everything you put out there is so right on. I just love listening to you because it's just straight honesty, straight talk, and I love it. I love it.
Awesome.
I just
Aw,
love it.
thank you so
Yeah.
much. I'm glad. I
And
mean,
it's
if you're a
exactly
squatter,
what
you're about the truth. That's what I think.
exactly, and believe me, that's what I sorry,
It's okay.
that's what I go for. I don't want to hear any, other garbage. And some of the stuff that comes out of people's mouth, I wonder, like where were they educated? And this is why I'm
Mm-hmm.
so confused with the people in the UK, because, like I always had them to be, yeah, like these bright people are full of common sense, know what, know what they're about,
Right.
because, the way I was educated and brought up in our schools, it was the European way. And
Mm-hmm.
the first thing, firsthand is about common sense,
Yeah.
I was so confused, and so shocked with the stuff that I, hear coming out of people's mouth. And, and it was really hard for me at the beginning, really, really
Mm-hmm.
hard for me at the beginning. And then I realized that, um, in the society that they live in, it's so, oppressed and manipulative and um and closed off, that, you know I can understand I start to realize that, and, like comfort myself, you
Mm-hmm.
know to to alleviate the insanity that, these people are brainwashed,
Right.
for years. So, I have to say, well, okay, like give them that benefit of the doubt, to say, well, okay, this is the kind of oppression that they're living under, right?
Mm-hmm.
But then, when it comes to the media and the tabloids and stuff like that, they took it, to another level,
Yep.
where they try to hold on to this to keep the people into that oppression,
Mm-hmm.
okay, and to keep them right there, right, helping the monarchy to keep them into this place. And it's, when I look at it, and I'm saying to myself, like, wake up, like, what is wrong? There's a whole other world that's going on over here,
Mm-hmm.
that people are not stupid. They can see right through it. From the first time you open your mouth, you can see what's happening. Like, what are you guys, what are you guys in? Like, wake up, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So it's, and in regards to this, the losing this case,
Mm-hmm.
like I said in the message, I expected it. I
Right.
expected it, because, if his grandmother was alive, I'd figure that he had a chance. But, with the father taking over, no.
Mm,
That's
yeah.
the father's court. It's not going to happen. And they are just full with embarrassment of what they did from the get go, right? By
Mm-hmm.
pulling his security, they are still living in that embarrassment. Okay,
Mm,
they're still living in that embarrassment. And he is showing them that, yes, you pull my security, but I can pay for my security. Okay, so
mm-hmm.
they're now are trying, and so it's an insult to them. So
Yep.
they are trying to do whatever it is to hold him there. And on top of that, the royal family don't want to feel that they're beaten by him. They don't want to feel that he is standing up as a man and showing them that, listen, okay,
Mm-hmm.
I don't need you. You did this to me. I accept it. I accept it. And I'm finding ways to get my stuff done, to do my stuff.
Right.
Okay. And on top of that, too, they know that when it comes to William and Kate and them, they know that he has some lucrative charities and stuff over there. Okay. They
Mm-hmm.
know how the people love him. And they feel by holding him back and keeping him from coming in there as he would like to come in there and look after his charity, that eventually he's going to have to give it up and they'll take it over. But it's not going to
Right.
happen. It's not going to
Yep.
happen, because, they don't have to get. I think what he was doing is trying to do it the right way, respecting the government over there, to
Mm-hmm.
go through them, yeah, go through and get that security. Okay, I think he was doing a respectful thing, going through the channels to get it. Okay, but he don't have to depend on their security. Okay,
Wow.
he's got his security in place. The only thing
Mhm.
that he wanted, okay, was for his guys to be able to get the first-hand intel, you know, as it comes in. If somebody is, if people are, going to be going after him or whatever, the kind of intel that he used to get when he was getting the security from the royal family, they would get first-hand intel. Okay, they'll get so he wanted his guys to be able, or whatever security he gets, to be able to get, that first-hand intel as it's coming in.
Right.
Okay, like real-time intel as it's coming in. That's what he's looking for. Okay, and also looking, to be able to get, the a few armed guards, as Leslie was saying.
Right.
Okay, to be able to protect him, because like he said, the last time he was there, his guys wasn't able to, carry guns. Okay,
Right.
and it could have been, tragic, right, when they were following him over there. So he need that added protection. Okay, so so what they're doing there, okay, is just, showing the world exactly, okay, how wicked they can be and what they've actually done to them.
Right.
Okay, and also trying to slow him down. Okay, in terms of his family, slow him down. Okay, from him and his family coming over there. Okay,
Right.
because they know that the people want them, the people want to see them, the people love them, and they have their charity who's looking out for them.
Yeah.
Okay, so they think
Yeah.
that's gonna, but something, it's not gonna slow them down. Okay,
Right.
and the other thing that we were talking about with this thing that happened Tuesday night. Okay, this thing that happened Tuesday night is a serious thing. And Leslie just confirmed exactly what I was thinking about in regards to that garbage truck thing. Okay, that is not by any, mistake or any mishap or anything. Those things were purposely happening. Okay, this, instead of those flashes of those lights and all these different things, it could have been a different set of flashing going on there. Okay, but why would you have blackout cars? Why would you blackout vehicles? Why would just all of a sudden this garbage thing is going to come in front of them? And so the same way those tabloids people were able to catch up with them, okay, and surround the car, okay, that could have been a whole different thing that's aiming at them inside of that car, because they were sitting ducks.
Yeah.
Okay, in that car.
Yeah.
Okay, this thing here is a lot bigger than what they're going on with the tabloids. And yes, the tabloids are part of it. They're part of it, but that was way bigger, and more than that. Okay, this thing is very, very serious.
I totally agree. And I definitely want to continue. Unfortunately, we gotta end.
That's okay there.
No,
been on a long time.
I will be back tomorrow and we can pick this up. But I want to end it with some very sad news, actually. Helen Holland, who is the elderly woman, she's like 80 years old, that Sophie Wessex motorcade hit.
No.
Yes, she just passed away this evening.
Oh, no.
And if people want to talk about when Harry and Meghan talk about, on the road, the catastrophe, this is a catastrophe. And this is what I'm sure would have been on their mind, and wanting to make sure that people, pedestrians are safe on the road. This is what, and the press wasn't talking about it a lot, but
you are so right about that,
because now passed away.
This is the first thing that they were thinking about. Okay, because you know why? You know why they were thinking about this? You know why they were thinking about this? You know why they were thinking about this? Because if anyone had got injured or died because they were chasing Harry and Meghan, you would not have heard the end of it.
Never
you
hear
would
the
not
end of
have
it.
heard the end of it. it would
Yeah.
have been Harry and Meghan's fault that this happened, and you would
Mm-hmm.
not hear the end of it.
Yeah.
Okay, this was just another thing on their head that they can just, ridicule them for. This is that's what was going to happen, and they
Yeah.
did not want this happening to their name.
Yeah.
Okay, they were more concerned about the pedestrians, the civilians, okay, than they were concerned
Even
about
the,
themselves.
yeah,
Okay,
themselves.
because they know if anything had happened, okay, this was what it was going to be for them.
Yeah. All right, Karen. Well, I gotta say
Okay,
goodnight to
talk to you.
you.
Good
Thank
night,
you so
baby.
much, my love, for coming in
Good
and
night,
always sharing
honey.
your heart and
Not
your
a
passion.
problem.
I
Thanks,
appreciate you so
Leslie. You
much.
take care, honey. Yeah.
All right. So
We'll talk. We'll
definitely,
talk.
the
Okay.
line will be open again tomorrow when we have another podcast and we
Not
can
a
chat
problem, sweetie.
some more.
Not a problem. You take care, hon. Love
All
you. Have
right.
a good day. Take care.
Bye. Yeah, I'm sorry to end on such a note that I just literally saw it just popped up that she had passed. So I'm sorry to end on a bad, not bad. Well, yeah, it is a bad note. It is a sad note, but I just wanted to let you guys know. Just keep her family in the prayers. If you're on social media, you probably can find out a little bit more about her. And it's just really, 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 really sad that this happened. And again, when Harry and Meghan mentioned the word catastrophe, everybody like, oh my, what do you mean? Well, this exact thing, because if you're screaming down the road, chasing people, driving on side, well, this is exactly what could happen. This is exactly, and according to what I hear, usually royal motorcades usually go speeding by. And so, yeah, it's very, 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 very sad. But anyways, we've been, oh my gosh, it's almost 3 hours. I didn't even realize. Oh, like macro. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me and chatting. I appreciate you guys so much. Thank you to our awesome 2 Cents crew member. Well, first to our wait, where's my moderator thing? Did I just miss putting in our moderators there? I am so sorry. But to our awesome moderators, Church Nelly, Lydia, Cookies and Cream, Karen M, thank you so much for your patience, your love, your care and taking care of the chat. The awesome moderators. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you to our 2 Cents crew who support the channel on a monthly basis. Thank you so much financially, I should say, on a monthly basis. Thank you, thank you, thank you for everything that you do to support the channel. And actually, let me move myself out of the way so everybody can see all the names. There we go. I was blocking Church Nelly and Lit Lane. Sorry, guys. So there we are. Thank you guys so much. And also to our wonderful Gold Star supporters who, let me move my banner so you can see them. Banner, get out of the way. There we go. You see them in the chat where they support either super chat, super thanks, super all the supers, and some of you support via PayPal and Cash App as well. Thank you all so very much for your support. Again, I couldn't do what I am doing without your support. So, and if you're here and you have not subscribed, or if you're new here and you're just seeing this for the first time, please go ahead and subscribe. It's right at the bottom of your video. Hit the subscribe button there, and then hit the little bell so that you know when we drop a video, you'll get an alert from YouTube. And also, please like and share the video. Please help us build our platform so we can get as much truth out there as possible. And if you're able, please join the channel where you support the channel monthly. I appreciate every one of you who have so far. So again, thank you guys so much for hanging out with me and just being your amazing, amazing self. Thank you, Leslie. Thank you, Aaron, for coming in. Thank you so much. And Leslie, I look forward to getting your email and us chatting and doing some investigating reporting together. I appreciate it so much, what you shared with us. So again, thank you guys. Have a fantastic evening. I love you all. And Lord willing, keeps us alive until tomorrow. We will chat again tomorrow. So I will talk to you later. Love you all. Bye.